Hello, good evening. My name is Richard. This is over and over and over again. This is Matchday Live. It is European Super League night. Arsenal versus Shaktah Donesk. It's all coming up. The other side of this. So it is Matchday Live. My name is Richard, and this is over and over again. Arsenal versus Shaktah Donesk from Ukraine. Of course, it's at the Emirates. Now, how do Arsenal line up? Of course, it's a Champions League, European Super League group game, and of course, it's against an opposition that we should beat. We should be able to beat. So surely it's the night, isn't it, for the youngsters? It's a night to make some changes and give some of these young players an opportunity. So this is a team that Mikel Arteta has gone with tonight then. So in goal it is David Raya, your back four, Ben White, William Saliba, Gabriel, Ricardo Calafiori. In midfield, Declan Rice, Thomas Partey and Leandro Trossard. And the front three, Jesus, Martinelli and Havertz. All those young players in that team, brilliant. Well done, Mikel Arteta. So there you go. What do we make of that team selection then? I would go through the Shaktah Donesk team, but I can't pronounce half their players. We don't know who they are anyway. We don't really care, do we? Let's be honest. I mean, you know, I'm sure they're all good players, but come on, I'm not going to even try and pronounce half of them names, am I? But what do we make of the Arsenal team? Because that's what we care about, don't we? Why on earth isn't Ethan Nwaneri playing in this game? Why? I'll tell you why. Because Mikel Arteta only rates 15 players in his squad. That's all he rates. And you've got to bear in mind, a couple of them are injured at the moment, the two that he rates the most. And instead of saying, right, you know what, I don't think he's wanted to play Ethan Nwaneri in these games without Martin Odegaard, because if Ethan played well, then he's got a problem, because he's going to be under pressure from the fans to keep Ethan in the team. But he's not going to do that, because he's going to put Martin Odegaard straight back in, and then suddenly it causes a problem that he doesn't want to have to deal with. So he's made sure he doesn't have to deal with it by not giving Ethan any opportunities at all. This is a perfect game for him, isn't it? How's he going to get experience if you can't throw him into a group game like this at home against a team that we should beat? Stick some experience around him, yeah, no problem at all. This is how he picks up the experience that he needs. Don't play him against Bolton in the Carabao Cup. Don't play him at Preston in a couple of weeks' time. Play him in games like this. That's how he's going to get the experience. Arsene Wenger did that really well, didn't he, with the young players? Threw them into games like this. We still qualified, because he knew they were good enough and he had faith in them. Mikel Arteta doesn't have faith in anybody. He doesn't trust anybody. And this is one of the reasons why I do not like this manager and I want him out of this club. Absolutely ridiculous. Nathan's with us, says, hi, Rich, hope you're well. Hi, everyone. Chatting in, my friend. Good to see you again. Hope you're doing well. Greg says, hi, Rich, all in the chat. Good evening to you, Greg. DMD says, come on, you Gunners, indeed. Come on, you Gunners. Greg says, Arteta's lost the plot, making his mate Jesus captain. What is he captain? I've only just switched on. I haven't seen who's captain. Well, there you go. Kind of sums up this manager for me. Clueless. Dave says Zelensky in goal. He's probably in goal and up front, in defence, in midfield. He's probably funded the whole team with our money that we've given him, no doubt. He's probably, you know, we paid for all their players. We paid their wages. We paid their flights over here. We paid for their hotels. And says, good evening, Rich. And Greg, how you doing? It's good to see you. Chan says, already 10 versus 11 Jesus in the lineup. Well, yeah. But anyway, there you go. What can you do? Greg says, surely if we don't win convincingly tonight, Arteta has to go. Well, he won't go, will he? We could lose this game 5-0. He's not going anywhere. And that's what worries me. I don't know how, when you look at how bad things got under this manager, and when you look at how much that we're regressing already this season after the last sort of 2 seasons, which were okay, I can't see a point where they will get rid of him. I can't see how bad it would need to be. Honestly, I can't see how bad it would need to get for them to get rid of him. So it doesn't matter if I was almost, you know, maybe a couple of years ago, probably I got to the point where I thought, let's just lose games to get rid of this manager. But now I'm thinking it's not worth it, because he's not going to get rid of him anyway. So we might as well keep winning the games, win some trophies. It's not going to happen probably under this manager, but it's pointless worrying about him going, because he's not going anywhere. They're not getting rid of him. They will not get rid of him. He's not going to leave. So we're lumbered, aren't we? Anyway, the teams are in the tunnel, and this is going to be a good game. It's just a shame that we haven't got the opportunity to see a couple of these young players, giving them Champions League experience. And says his name isn't Jonas. Well, exactly, yeah. And he won't do the honourable thing that Jonas did and walk away. He won't. And Jonas has walked away when he qualified us for the Champions League group stage. He's won us two cup finals, and he still walked away because he knew he wasn't good enough to take us to that next level. Maybe he knew he couldn't do it. And Arteta can't do it, but he's going to stay till the bitter end. He's going to stay until the fans aren't turning up in the stadium. He's going to stay until everyone's booing the team off every week. Then he might think about it. Even though I don't think he will. He's too stubborn. And the club won't get rid of him. I think we're lumbered. Honestly, I think we're lumbered of him. Arteta will be our manager till he's 104. Greg says, the only good this is he ain't starting Sterling. Well, yeah, exactly. He's learned his lesson from now, and he's not playing Kiwi or either. Nathan says, dropping out of top 4. I don't even think dropping out of top 4 would necessarily be enough. And let's face it, with the team that we've got, the money that we've spent, I can't see us dropping out of the top 4. Although there's more competition now, of course. It's not easy to stay in the top 4, but I don't know. Maybe you're right, Dave. Maybe that is what needs to happen. Maybe we need to drop out of the top 4 without these Champions League, matches, the money that generates. Maybe the club would have no choice. I don't know. I can't see a situation in the near future when we're going to be looking for a new manager. So the way I look at it is, I've stopped worrying about it. I'm never going to like this manager. I'm just going to get on with supporting the team, supporting the players and the club, and hope that eventually either Mikel Arteta somehow manages to fluke a trophy, it'd be brilliant, or the club sees sense and get rid. Redemption will say, my friend, good to see you. Hope you are doing well. Don't forget, everyone, please drop us a like as well. This is, it's a big night, isn't it? European football. We are going to try and enjoy this game, and hopefully we can come away with 3 points, which I believe is 3 points enough to qualify. I don't really understand how it all works, to be honest. This qualification with all these million teams in it. I'm sure I heard somewhere today that if we win tonight, get the 3 points, then we have done enough to already qualify for the next stage. Is that right? It can't be, surely. There must be more games that are going to matter after this one. Because this is it's only our third game, isn't it? We've got 5 games left. There's no way it can be decided after tonight, can it? We can't be through already, surely. If someone lets me know, I don't understand it, to be honest with you. I've not even bothered to really look at it, if I'm totally honest. We're just in it, just watch the games, and that's it. If we win a few, we're probably going to qualify, aren't we? Emerson's Rebel saying, my friend, good to see you. Nathan says, I think this new Champions League format is awful. Well, it's ridiculous. It's not Champions League, is it? It's Super League. Yeah, it's Super League. That's what he said. Sorry, it's a Super League. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Ed says, evening to Emerson. Arsenal Future said, big ups. And yourself, my friend, good to see you. Rajendra says, just give the commentary and we will get the likes and score goals. Well, yeah, we can't get no commentary yet. The game hasn't started, is it? And they're just doing the Champions League music. The players are lining up. And Arsenal, of course, will be in their red and white strip as usual. Shaktah have got tracksuits on. I can't see what colour shirts they'll be wearing, but I'm guessing it'll be sort of a white kind of kit, isn't it, that they wear, I think. Not too sure, actually. I remember we played these, didn't we? And we played them a couple of times before, haven't we? I remember a game at Highbury when Martin Keown scored twice. I'm sure that was against Shaktah Donesk, wasn't it? When we beat them 3-2 at Highbury and Martin Keown scored a couple of goals. So I remember that one, and we beat them, of course, here at the Emirates, didn't we? Was it 5-1 a few years back? I think Sammy and Nasri scored that night, didn't he? That was how long ago it was. But so we have played them before. We've got obviously a good record at home against them. I know away we struggled against Shaktah Donesk. I know we've lost a couple of games, sort of 3 or 4-0 over, haven't we? I'm sure we have. But we always seem to beat them at home, so I'm sure that will continue tonight. But let's see. It's an experienced team that Mikel Arteta's gone with. It's the usual team that we've been playing. Obviously, a couple of changes from the weekend. Sterling's out, Jesus is in, and of course, Marino's out as well, out of the team. See, what I would have done, and again, that's just me, ahead of the Liverpool game, I would have played, whoever's going to play centre-half with Gabriel against Liverpool, play them tonight. Get them a game. Get them match sharp. Get them ready for Sunday. That's what I would have done, but not this manager. Oh, no, he's just going to throw someone in at the deep end on Sunday who hasn't played. He's just going to throw him in. That's what he's going to do. Guarantee it. And that's not going to go well, is it? So this game for me was all about planning for that, planning for the fact that on Sunday, William Saliba was suspended. And get it sorted tonight. Pick whoever's going to play on Sunday. Pick them tonight. Get that defence playing together for a game in the Champions League. That's what you should do. Whoever it is that's going to play on Sunday, they should be playing tonight at centre back alongside Gabriel. And this is why this manager, to me, hasn't got a clue what he's doing. But anyway, let's see. Emerson says 3 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, and Arsenal have to qualify in the top 8. Well, now we know the points system, but who plays who? What? I don't really get how it works. But anyway, yeah, you're right. We've got to finish in the top 8. Is that in the whole league? There's about 100 teams in there. We've got to finish in the top 8 out of all them teams. Nice. Anyway, Rajendra says we will get a fairer deal from the refs. Well, we might do. Who knows? I don't think we don't get a fairer deal from the refs. I don't think that's the problem. Mark C says, company Emirates, indeed. Come on, let's beat these. They're playing black, actually. Black and orange. Shaktah Donesk. They have kicked off. They are attacking the north bank, which is the end away to our left-hand side. And long ball forward is headed out by Gabriel. It's going to be a big responsibility on Gabriel's shoulders, isn't there, on Sunday against Liverpool. Without William Saliba in the side, it's going to be interesting to see who plays in that position, actually. That's what I was hoping tonight would give us an idea who's going to play on Sunday, but we don't know, do we? We haven't got a clue. Could be Calafiore, of course. He's played centre-back. Ben White has played centre-back. He's not going to play Jacob Kiwior. I think we all know that. Anyway, Arsenal coming forward over on that far side straight away. Martinelli, can he get the shot in? He can. It's deflected behind. It's an early corner to Arsenal. We've only played 40 seconds, and Martinelli there down that left-hand side missed that big chance, didn't he, at the weekend, which could have made the difference. But he needs a goal, I think. Well, there's a few players in this team could do with a goal. Anyway, it's a corner to Arsenal very early on. We know how dangerous we are from these situations, but I'm sure Shaktah Donesk have done some research on how we attack corners. Greg says, stop talking sense, Rich. Arteta understand sensible talk. Well, I'm assuming he doesn't understand sensible talk. Well, he clearly doesn't. Anyway, this corner comes in. It's not a bad ball. The goalkeeper just gets a touch on that. Did well, actually, there under a bit of pressure. The Ukrainian goalkeeper, and Trossard's done well on his near side. What's the cross like? It's not bad. Oh, how Havertz couldn't get his head on it, but it's come all the way across to the far side. Arsenal have started this game really, really quickly. If we can get this game done in the first 20 minutes, that'd be good, wouldn't it? If we could do that, get it won in the first 20, 25 minutes, get a couple of goals up nice and early, and then we can relax, and maybe then we might see some of the youngsters. Anyway, Gabriel Jesus on this near side, playing on this right-hand side by the look of it this evening in place of Bukayo Saka, of course, who is injured. Mark C says, where's Terry? Is he Tommy? No, Terry is on holiday. He's on holiday. He's gone to Spain. He's gone fishing with his dad. So he's gone, I think, for 10 days. He'll be back some point next week. Oh, Jesus' ball into the box was quite good. But again, Shaktah clear it away. Only comes to William Saliba on halfway. And looking for a pass. He just finds Ben White on this near side. My feeling is Ben White might well play. I think if Timber's fit, Timber's not even on the bench tonight. But if Timber's fit for Sunday, I think Ben White will play centre-back. And Timber will play right back. That would be my guess. Or will he play Calafiore and Zinchenko? That's a worry, isn't it? We don't really want to play Zinchenko, do we? Emerson says, yes, if you finish from 8th and below, you have to play in a playoff. And the next 2 matches are away to Inter Milan and Sporting Lisbon. And the last match is against Monaco. Oh, right, okay. That's 8th in that whole league, is it? Of all those millions of teams? I mean, that'd be, to finish 8th in all of them teams would be quite good. I mean, I'm quite sure how the fixtures work out because you only play each team once. You don't play home and away. So we don't have to play away in Shaktah, which is probably quite good because we don't have a very good record there, do we? But we won't have to play there, so that's good news. And Jesus on this near side for Arsenal touches it back to Ben White. And now it's back to William Saliba. Arsenal have settled in quite quickly in this match so far. We've only played 3.5 minutes, but it's been all Arsenal possession without really creating too much. Anyway, Calafiore plays it ball into midfield. Thomas Partey plays it forward. Now we've got an opportunity here. Kai Havertz having a little run, plays up this near side to Gabriel Jesus, trying to take on his fullback, isn't able to, and Shaktah pick up the ball. Got a couple of Brazilians in their team as well, who I'm sure Gabriel Jesus knows pretty well from international duty. Of course, all the chaps have just given the ball away. It's inside the penalty area. Comes to Kai Havertz on this near side. Tries to pull it back. Good defending again. The Ukrainians there were claiming offside against Havertz. I'm not sure if it was. It was a terrible ball out that fell straight to Ben White. He touched it in. I don't think he was offside, actually, Havertz. Anyway, was it given as offside or is it a corner? It's a corner. Second corner to Arsenal. We played 4.5 minutes. And that was a terrible mistake at the back from the Ukrainian captain. Well, sorry, the Shaktah Donesk captain. I mean, most of their players are Ukrainian, to be fair, with a couple of Brazilians thrown in. And it is a corner to Arsenal on this near side. Leandro Trossard is going to take it. What's the delivery going to be like? We know how dangerous we can be. It's curled in towards the near post. It's a Shaktah head. Bryshiv, it was at the near post, headed that over. And it's going to be another corner again on this near side. Probably Trossard again to take it. It was okay defending at that near post. Always difficult, isn't it, when that ball's whipped in towards that near post area. Anyway, Trossard is going to take this corner on this near side. Leandro Trossard. Can he get a better delivery this time? It's curled in against balls at near post and it's fell to Ricardo Calafiore. And he's fired over the crossbar there from about 7 yards. Big chance for Arsenal to take the lead. It was a decent corner. It was headed out, but not very far, and it's fell to Calafiore on his left foot. And he's hit it as it's come back up. Couldn't keep it down. He was under a bit of pressure there. Shaktah defender threw himself at that ball. Ended up in the clock end where the Shaktah fans are gathered. And that was a big chance for Arsenal. Should be 1-0 really, shouldn't it? Just 6 minutes played. But Shaktah got away with that one there. The goalkeeper now plays it out towards that far side. Shaktah trying to play it out from the back. Which is, of course, the way everybody plays these days, don't they? No variety. Mark says, we wouldn't be going to Donetsk in an away leg because of the war. They're playing their European games in Gelsenkirchen, Schalke's ground, I believe. Oh, right, okay, yeah, well, fair enough, I suppose. But seeing as we're funding the war, I'm pretty sure we would have a ceasefire if we were playing over there, wouldn't we? Pretty sure we would. Anyway, we don't have to play away, so it doesn't matter. Because that's the way the fixtures have worked out. So you say they're playing their European games in Gelsenkirchen. What about their National League games? Are they their domestic games? Are they playing them at home? So they don't care about that then. They don't really care about the European games. Is that what it is? I don't know. Anyway, Arsenal are coming forward on this near side. Havertz plays it into Gabriel Jesus. Havertz has gone on a run. Had a little bit of space there, but Ben White instead switches the play to that far side, looking for Gabriel Martinelli. It's headed away. Declan Rice picks it up for Arsenal under a bit of pressure. It's gone out for a throw to Shaktah over on that far side. The Shaktah coach has got a Stone Island jumper on. He looks a bit of a boy, doesn't he? Actually, you won't mess with him, would you? Maybe he should be in the Ukrainian army looking at him rather than being manager of a football team. Anyway, the goalkeeper's got the ball for Shaktah inside the Ukrainian penalty. He plays out to that far side. And Arsenal closing down the spaces, trying to force an error. We've already forced a couple of errors. Rajendra says, near the Polish border. Is that where Donetsk is it? Oh, and Arsenal made a mistake at the back. It was Ben White. He's been caught out. He's one of the little Brazilians for Shaktah, but he ran into trouble. In fact, he's got the ball back again inside the area. And Arsenal haven't really managed to clear this away. Surely that looked like an offside over on that far side it was. And that was a bit of a let-off there for Arsenal. Mistake by Ben White, got caught in possession. And it almost led to a chance there for the Ukrainians. A good bit of sharp play there from this little Brazilian here, cutting field, but maybe did too much. He had a pass on there to the forward, but he didn't make it. And there we go. Everson says also Ukrainian national team play in Germany. So what about the domestic league though? Do we know what they do in their domestic league? Do they play at home in Ukraine? I suppose obviously all the Ukrainian league teams, they can't all play somewhere else, can they? Or there'll be chaos. Surely they have to play their domestic league games in Ukraine, don't they? In which case, if it's safe to do that, is it not safe to play every game? I don't know. Anyway, Arsenal got away with one there actually. Ben White, a little bit sloppy there from him. and it almost cost us a chance. Vajeda says, know where they play. The Russians have taken over the Donetsk region. Oh, right. So it's only the Donetsk region, is it, that they can't play? Okay. Well, there you go. To be honest with you, I stopped following all of that when I realised it was a load of old shite. But anyway. Greg says, it's a pity we're not playing in the next. We could do with some fireworks in this team. I think it might be a few fireworks if we played over there, wouldn't it? Could have been a lively evening. But Mark C says, how the heck do they attract so many Brazilians to play for them? I haven't got the foggiest idea. My guess would be money, but I don't know. They've got quite a few, haven't they? I've noticed in there. I saw their squad list. They've got quite a few Brazilians in their squad. I don't know how many are actually starting this game. A couple of them I've seen already. That number 7 on this side's a Brazilian, isn't he? I think number 10 might be as well. Anyway, yes, they've got some Brazilians there. And yeah, I mean, if you're Brazilian and you're a decent footballer, you can play, Champions League level football. You've got a choice of clubs, a choice of countries. Yeah, what would make Ukraine quite so attractive? I'm not too sure really, but anyway, I'm sure it's a lovely club to play for. Anyway, Arsenal attacking on its near side. Gabriel Jesus cuts in field, goes past one challenge. He's done well, Gabriel Jesus, and then he does too much and falls over. And that pretty much sums up Gabriel Jesus's Arsenal career in a 10-second cameo in this game, I think. Anyway, Shaktah trying to come forward. Rajendra says a lot of people are being killed off. Well, yeah, they are. A lot of people are being killed off everywhere, and it's planned, clearly. That's what they want to do, because there's too many people in the world and they need to get rid of a few million. They ain't done a bad job so far, have they? Anyway, Thomas Partey now with not too much pressure on the ball. Clips it forward. That's a good ball. Kai Havertz in on his near side. No, he's not, because he may well have been offside and the ball's run through anyway for a goal kick to Shaktah. We have played 11 minutes. It's been 11 minutes of mainly Arsenal possession, but only that one big chance really there for Calafiore fired over from close range. There's, of course, one of the most famous Ukrainians in the stands there, not Zelensky. Of course, it wasn't him. It was, of course, Shevchenko, probably the greatest Ukrainian footballer of all time, in the stands watching this game. Anyway, it's a free kick to Arsenal. Thomas Partey just got pushed in the back midway inside the Arsenal half. It is a free kick. Ben White takes it, touches it back to William Saliba, goes out to Gabriel over on that far side. Everson says, only Shaktah play in Germany. Only the other teams. Not sure. An ex-player, Eduardo, is a guest of Arsenal with Shaktah. So, yeah, of course, Eduardo played for, of course, both of these clubs, didn't he? And he had his Arsenal career cut short, didn't he, at Birmingham, with that awful challenge on him. And just as he was starting to look like a really, really good player, wasn't he? I remember seeing him a few times play. There was a game against Man City. He's got a couple of goals, didn't he? Brilliant performance. And he was in really good form, wasn't he? Until that game at Birmingham. And although he recovered and played on after that, he was never quite the same, was he? He was never quite the same. But a brilliant player. Anyway, there you go. Rajendra says Russians are sending bombs to Ukraine like the Germans did. What you need to do, mate, is stop listening to the media that want you to believe that that's what's happening. Ukraine are not the good guys in all of this. Let's not think that they are, because they're not. Another reason why I hope we win tonight, because we can't have Ukrainians winning, can we? Horrible place. Anyway, Kai Havertz plays the ball back into midfield. And there, Thomas Partey. A lot of Arsenal possession. Pretty similar pattern to this game, to most games. Arsenal have a lot of possession, but we're not quite able to create too many chances yet. That was a ball there from Thomas Partey looking to get Ben White in. Overhit it. It's gone behind. It is going to be a goal kick to Shaktah. 14 minutes on the clock. Arsenal 0, Shaktah 0. Rajendra says, go to Ukraine and find out. I don't want to go to Ukraine at all. What would I want to go to Ukraine for? I'm not saying there's not a war going on. There's a war going on. It's the reasons behind it that you need to look into a bit more. Ukrainians certainly aren't the good guys, absolutely not. And why we're supporting them, I do not know. I'm not saying Russia are the good guys either, by the way, but it's not really anything to do with us. So I don't even know why we're getting involved. Why are we sending billions and billions of pounds into Zelensky's pocket? I do not know. That's a question that we need to find the answers to, really, don't we? Anyway, I would let them all crack on with it myself. We've got our own problems to worry about here, haven't we? We could do with all them billions of pounds we're sending over there. We could do it here, couldn't we? To maybe give our pensioners a chance to heat their house this winter. Because no doubt the weather's going to be absolutely shite and it's going to be freezing cold. And they're going to be sitting there in 4 jumpers and stuff like that with their bloody sheets over them to keep warm. All these old age pensioners can't afford to put their heating on. Because we'd rather send money to Ukraine. Yeah, give them some guns, shall we? Yeah, that's a good idea. Anyway, Arsenal coming forward here with Martinelli over on that far side. Puts cross into the edge of the 6-yard box. Kai Havertz was in there. Good defensive header, actually, it was, by the Shakhtar defender. And they can now come forward themselves. They've got to play with a mask on. Didn't you realise COVID finished a couple of years ago? Anyway, Arsenal pick up the ball again. Shakhtar can't really get any momentum going forward at all. In fact, the only time they even looked like they were going to threaten was that mistake from Ben White, which almost presented them with an opportunity. Other than that, the ball's pretty much been in at the Shakhtar half for all of this opening 15 minutes. But only one real chance created for Arsenal. Surprising enough, it did come from a corner. And again, we've given the ball away. And they're trying to come forward here down this near side. That's not a bad ball. Again, this little Brazilian, he's good, isn't he? Number 7, picked out his striker. He's going to get it back again on the edge of the box. He tries a shot. It's deflected by Gabriel, and that was much better there from Shakhtar there. They play some nice football on the edge of the Arsenal penalty area, and that's their first opportunity. Actually, really good feet there. Actually, it was initially a nice little 1-2 on the edge of the box, and then when the shot come in, it was blocked by Gabriel. He maybe needed to hit that first time, didn't he? He gave Gabriel the opportunity to come back across and get the block in, but it's a corner to Shakhtar. And that's the first real attacking threat that they've shown. But again, it started because we gave the ball away. And that seems to have been the story of this. Anyway, they've got a corner over on that far side. Shakhtar, they've taken it short, actually. Maybe realising how strong we are from set pieces. Thought they'll try a different approach. Anyway, the ball is now into the box out to that far side. It's a good ball. Ricardo Calafiori clears it away at the near post. And suddenly Shakhtar are looking a little bit more dangerous. They've done a lot of defending in the early stages of this game, but now they're coming forward. And actually, they've looked like they're quite a tidy team in possession of the football. But we did help them out a little bit by giving them possession. And they are in possession now just inside the Arsenal half. And this is their best spell of this game so far. But that's football, isn't it? No team dominates a game for 90 minutes. The other team are always going to have a spell or spells in the game, and it's just you've got to manage those spells when they're on top. You've got to manage it where you've got to defend properly, and that's how you win games, isn't it? You can't expect to have the ball for 90 minutes. It just doesn't happen, does it? And this is a little spell of possession for Shakhtar. Maybe they're starting to settle now. That's not a bad ball either. They're knocking it around here pretty well. A nice little ball over the top. And again, this little number 7. It's caused us a lot of problems. And they've got the ball out to that far side. This is good play from Shakhtar. That's a strange cross, actually, towards the edge of the penalty here. But they do win the first header, but not the second one. And then Thomas Partey can flick it away. But this is good from Shakhtar. This is really good from them. Easily the best spell that they've had in this game. Roland says, basically, we've made one change from the game on Saturday. Jesus in for Sterling. Some experimental midfield trio with no creativity. We need to give Wanweri a chance. If not now, when? I said that, my friend, at the start of the game when I was going through the team. This is the sort of game you're playing, isn't it? And I said as well, what we should have played is whoever's playing centre-back on Sunday should have played tonight with Gabriel, just to give him a game, give him some sharpness. You know, look at Kyrgios's performance at Bournemouth. Was shaky, wasn't it? Because he's not played enough football. And the same's going to happen on Sunday, because we're going to probably play someone who hasn't played much football. And then we're going to wonder why they might not play particularly well, as Kyrgios didn't. And I don't blame him. I don't blame Kyrgios. He's not been playing. You can train every day. You can do what you want, but unless you're playing matches, you're going to lack that sharpness. And at the top level, in the Premier League, in the Champions League, you get found out. And my worry is on Sunday, we're going to end up playing somebody in that back four who hasn't played much football. And it's a game against Liverpool. And I just worry about that, which is why they should have played the back four that's going to play Sunday tonight. That is what we should have done. But we didn't. And that may well cost us massively, because if we lose on Sunday to Liverpool, he's at 7 points. We'll be behind them. And okay, it's still early in the season. You could say, well, 7 points can easily be made up. It can, and of course it can. But come on, we don't want to be 7 points behind at that point. This point in the season, Arsenal with a chance. Havertz and Trossard linked up well in the box, but Trossard couldn't get his finish away. Usually so deadly when he gets in the penalty area, but he couldn't get anything on that shot. He was under pressure, to be fair. And again, it's Arsenal's pressure high up the pitch that led to that. He may well have been offside initially, Trossard. He wasn't when he actually got his shot away, but he was off balance, actually. And couldn't quite. He just sliced it completely, didn't he? And says, boring game. Well, it is a boring game. It is a very boring game. It's not quite as boring as the game on Saturday was. Certainly that first half was terrible at Bournemouth, wasn't it? Really boring. But this isn't a lot better, slightly better, but not much. And I think that's the problem when you got so many group games like this in this competition. There was always likely to be a lot of really boring games that, you know, with very little at stake, really, when you think about it. You know, whoever loses this game tonight has still got another 4 games left, or whatever it is, to try, or 3 games left to try and still qualify. So the jeopardy's not there, is it? And that's what sport's all about, isn't it? Top level sport to me is all about jeopardy, isn't it? It's about you know, what's at stake. And the more that's at stake, the more excitement that's generated, even if the game's not very good. Because of what's at stake, it makes it feel more exciting, more tense, because of what it means. This game doesn't mean anything, does it? The result of this game doesn't really matter too much, because we're still probably going to qualify. You know, Declan Rice tries a shot from distance that goes wide, and he does apologise. But don't apologise for shooting from out there, Deck. Honestly, mate, we need a bit more players prepared to take a shot from outside the box. And yeah, you've got that one wrong. You didn't get hold of it at all. It's gone wide, but don't worry about it. More players want to take some responsibility, have some shots from outside the box. That's what we want to see. So you crack on, my friend. Have another go next time. We know you can score from there. You've done it plenty of times before. So let's see some more of it, shall we? Because it gets us off our seat and makes us excited. Anyway, Gabriel Jesus on this near side for Arsenal. Plays the ball back to Ben White. Plays it forward to Thomas Partey. Touches it off to Ben White again. And then it goes back into midfield. Gabriel plays it out to that far side. Ricardo Calafiore tries to thread the ball through. It's a good ball, actually, to Kai Havertz. And then we've got Martinelli over on that far side, just inside the penalty area. Tries to get across in their post. It was flicked in there by Trossard, just wide. Thought that might have gone in just for a split second, but it did go wide. That was good play from Martinelli. Went round the outside, put the cross in towards the near post, and it was flicked towards goal by Trossard. He's usually, again, quite deadly in those situations, isn't he? But he couldn't quite direct that one on goal. Greg says, after the joke on Saturday, this team should be putting on a display tonight. No, they should, yeah. They've been given an opportunity, haven't they? The same players, pretty much. And so far, they've not really done it. Anyway, Shaktah coming forward again, but a loose touch over on that far side. Red Leader says, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope everyone is well and having a good day. Yes, we are, my friend. Good for you to join us. Thank you very much for your comments as well. Don't forget, if you are new here, please consider subscribing. We do cover all the men's and women's games. We do have panel shows as well, chatting about all the great stuff that's happening and all the not so great stuff as well. So, yeah, get involved. Get involved, because we like to have people on board. We always try and get everyone involved. Get your comments on the chat. We want to make sure that your comments are put on the screen. We'll chat about them. It's what we're here for. It makes what the show is. You know, I've seen some channels, they don't put any comments on that people put on. If you put the time to send a comment in, I will try my best to get it on and read it out, because, you know, you've taken the effort to do that. I appreciate it. And says, good evening to Red Lee. Well, Red Lee, that's a great name, isn't it, by the way? We've got Mr. Orange Justice. That's a good name as well, isn't it? Hello, everyone. I want Arsenal to win. We all want Arsenal to win, my friend. Thank you for joining us, and hopefully Arsenal will win. And we're coming forward now. Jesus with the cross. He maybe could have used Havertz, who went on the outside there on an overlap, but he decided not to. And it came to nothing. Anyway, Arsenal picks up the ball again over on that far side. Gabriel Martinelli. He's had a bit of luck against his fullback, hasn't he, so far? Plays it back this time, though, to Ricardo Calafiore. Thought about a shot. Then does have a shot, but it's quite close to the goalkeeper, who makes a fairly routine save. But at least it's another shot from outside the box. That's 2 shots from outside the box in a matter of moments here. And is that an instruction from the manager, or are the players just taking on that responsibility themselves? It's good to see, though, isn't it? And if we keep making those efforts, I'm sure we'll score a goal soon enough. Anyway, it's a free kick to Shakhtar. Ben White, they got a little bit too close to the number 7. He's brought him down, and it will be a free kick to Shakhtar. Can't really have too many complaints about that one. Right through the back of him there, which you can't really do, can you? Without conceding a free kick, let's be honest. That tends to be the way it goes. Anyway, it is going to be a free kick to Shakhtar. We've played 25 minutes nearly, actually, and it hasn't been a great game. Let's be totally honest. It has not been a great game. But anyway, it'll get better. I'm sure it will get better. Most games do get better, don't they, the longer they go on. But anyway, let's see. It is 0-0. Mr. Orange Justice says, come on, Arsenal. Thank you for joining this. No, thank you very much, my friend, for being with us. It's always, you know, we like people to get involved and, you know, put your comments in. I say we like to read your comments out. Always try to read everyone's comment out. I think it's important because we're a little community here. We are a little community here. Rajendra says, instruction from the crowd. It says here Arsenal had 5 attempts at goal, only 1 on target. And Shakhtar had 1 attempt, which was that one, of course, from the little number 7. And David Raya comes outside his goal there, does well, and plays the ball up this near side. Kai Havertz competes for that header, doesn't win it. And Shakhtar do pick up the loose ball, and they're in possession again in midfield. They have got some quite neat and tidy players, haven't they? Quite good on the ball. But, yeah, good stuff. Very, very good stuff indeed. So, 0-0, 26 minutes played at the Emirates. And if we're totally honest, not much has happened, really. Shakhtar had 1 opportunity, and we've had a couple, only 1 shot on target. In fact, Calafiori's had the 2 best efforts, hasn't he? He had 1 from outside the box, which produced that save, and he did fire 1 over very early on from about 6 yards out, following a corner. And, yeah, and we maybe that's the biggest chance of the game, really, that early one from Calafiori. And so far, we haven't really managed to penetrate this Shakhtar defence, despite having lots and lots and lots of possession, which we're in possession, however, on that far side. Martinelli finds Gabriel looking for a forward pass, and instead has to go back to William Saliba inside at the centre circle. Now it's Ben White, touches it forward to Declan Rice now. Leandro Trossard on his near side. That's in field. And then pings the ball over towards that far side. It's a good boy. If Martinelli can get there, he can't get there. He was a little bit on his heels there, Gabriel Martinelli. And had he anticipated that ball, he may well have set off a little bit earlier and might well have been able to get there, but he couldn't. And it's run behind for a goal kick to Shakhtar. And we've played 27 minutes, and it's been 27 minutes of quite turgid football. And Shakhtar's in possession over on that far side. They did have that one really nice attack, didn't they? They had a good spell straight after that as well. Caused us 1 or 2 issues, 1 or 2 problems, but they haven't really threatened a goal, have they? David Raya hasn't had a save to make. In fact, the Ukrainian goalkeeper has only had one save to make, which was a fairly comfortable one as well from Ricardo Calafiori. Anyway, Shakhtar now have a long ball over on that far side. Gabriel wins the header, and then Declan Rice picks the ball up over on that far side. Plays it back to Gabriel, and now square to William Saliba, just outside the Arsenal penalty area. Brings the ball forward, finds Ben White. Now it's up this near side. Kai Havertz touches it back in field to Ben White. Now it's with Ricardo Calafiori playing in the centre midfield. Just briefly, and he plays the ball forward to Declan Rice. This is good from Arsenal. Martinelli over on that far side. If this leads to a goal, it'll be a very nice move. Martinelli inside the penalty, tries to get the shot in. Oh, it's hit the post. It's gone in off the goalkeeper. Slightly fortunate finish. It was a good goal, a good move from Arsenal. And it was Martinelli that is going to go down as an own goal. The ball hit the post, came back, hit the goalkeeper and went in. But it doesn't matter. We've got the breakthrough finally. And of course, it only means one thing, our favourite moment. Here's 1-0. Martinelli was desperate to get that shot away. And when he did, it hit the post, hits the goalkeeper. It's going to go down as an own goal. An unfortunate own goal there by the Shakhtar goalkeeper. Hit the post, came back and hit him and went in. A bit lucky, but it doesn't matter too much. Everson says goal. Rajendra says Martinelli. It won't be Martinelli's goal, will it? It's going to be an own goal, unfortunately, against the goalkeeper. He got a deflection, hits the post, comes back and hits the goalkeeper. And unlucky there for him, and it was lucky for Arsenal, really. Rajendra says 1-0. Indeed, it is 1-0 to the Arsenal. Mr. Orange Justice says, good luck, Arsenal. It's a tough game. And you're very nice as well. Well, thank you very much. Mark C says, if you don't shoot, you don't score. Happy he decides to have a crack. Exactly. I mean, we said that before, didn't we? We had a couple of shots from outside the box. I mean, that was inside the box, but at least he was prepared to have a shot. And you're right, you never know what might happen. If you don't shoot, you're never going to score. Emerson says, stadium announcer said it was Martinelli's goal. It doesn't matter what he said. It isn't Martinelli's goal, is it? Because it's going to be an own goal by the goalkeeper. But it doesn't matter too much. We've got the lead. We've got the breakthrough. And that's the most important thing. And yes, it had a big slice of luck about it. But yeah, it's definitely not going to be Martinelli's goal, is it? I don't think there's much doubt about that. I don't see how it can be really Martinelli's goal. When his shot had hit the post and was coming back out, and it wouldn't have gone in. So it's definitely not Martinelli's goal, is it? Anyway, Shakhtar trying to come forward over on that far side, looking to try to find a way back into this game. That goal there maybe summed up the game, really, didn't it? It wasn't a fantastic. It was a bit lucky, wasn't it? The goal. It was a good move that led to it. It's just that it was a bit of a fortunate goal. Yeah, it is Resnick, the goalkeeper, own goal. It says quite rightly so. But of course, Martinelli, if you don't shoot, as Mark said, if you don't shoot, you don't score. Yeah, so there you go. Anyway, Arsenal now looking for a second goal. Martinelli on the burst, again. Can he get past the fullback? Cuts inside. It's a good run for Martinelli. Oh, he tried to thread it through to Trossard. Maybe he could have tried a shot again. Anyway, Arsenal picks up the ball. We've got a little bit of momentum with us now. Gabriel Jesus on this near side. Roland says had Mikhailo Modric signed for Arsenal, do you think Arteta would have been able to get the best out of him? That's an interesting question, isn't it, actually? Because there's been a lot of players that we've bought that he hasn't been able to get the best out of. And there's been other players that's worked. So you never really know, do you? I just feel because of the position that Modric plays, I would say I think he would have struggled to get the best out of him. Honestly, I do. But we'll probably never know, will we? Because we didn't get him. Anyway, Jesus has done well there. Won the ball on this near side and plays it up the line to Leandro Trossard. He's one player that has worked really well for Arsenal. Brilliant signing he's been. Certainly one of our most exciting players, isn't he? But anyway, let's see. It is Arsenal 1, Shakhtar 0. It was an own goal by the Shakhtar goalkeeper, Resnick. It is Martinelli who created that over on that far side, looking to create something else here. Can he get a cross in? Decides instead to touch the ball off to Gabriel. Next back with William, Saliba and Ben White. Plays it up his near side. Gabriel Jesus touches it back to Leandro Trossard. Now it's infield to Ben White again. Trossard gets it back. He didn't really want it, but look at it. He was telling him to go somewhere else, but he did get the ball back. And now this is a good attack from Arsenal. Thomas Partey trying to burst in towards a penalty area. He had the ball taken off him, and now Ukraine have got a chance of a counter-attack. And they do look as though they can play some football when they get the chance. So over on that far side, we've played 33 minutes here at the Emirates. Arsenal 1, Shakhtar Donesk 0. And in fact, there's a player down. So the play's been stopped. In fact, there's going to be a yellow card. I don't know. Is that for Jesus, is it? Or is it Ben White got the yellow card? I'm not really sure. But there's the Brazilian number 7 has gone down. Was that an off-the-ball incident? Didn't see what happened. Just he's gone down. Yeah, Ben White did kind of catch him, really. Maybe that was a a yellow card. He's been caught out a couple of times by that little Brazilian, hasn't he? Ben White struggling a little bit to deal with him. And now he's gone down. And yeah. Anyway, they're showing a goal again, which was a lovely move. Actually, they're not showing a goal, they're just showing a move just before when Declan Rice pulled the ball across, got deflected, and the goalie had to react quickly to scoop it away. He's done quite well, the goalkeeper, actually, and he was quite unfortunate with that goal, wasn't he? But anyway, the young Brazilian is back on his feet again, holding his throat, and doesn't look very happy, does he? Bit of rough treatment there from Ben White, and I'm sure he's going to look to get his own back, isn't he? Maybe on the ball, because he is a good player. He has been he's looked a good player, hasn't he? In fact, most of them people on the Shaktah Donesk bench, you wouldn't want to mess with them, would you? They look mean, don't they? I think most Ukrainians do. They've got that kind of look about them, haven't they? Anyway, Shaktah coming forward now, long ball forward, and not a great ball, and it's now being played back to David Raya. There's not much to do, is he? And he's opening 35 minutes, the Arsenal goalkeeper. Fairly comfortable 35 minutes for him. Still plenty of time left in this game, though, isn't there? If we can see some more goals, would be nice, wouldn't it? This is our third game, of course, in this little group stage. We drew away 0-0 with Atalanta. We beat PSG 2-0. And we are winning 1-0 in this game as well. Of course, we've got a couple of away games to come, which are never easy, are they, in Europe? They're never easy. Mark says White got him with a reducer. He did, yeah. Bit late, really. He's already been caught out by him a couple of times, but it's like we'll see now whether or not that's going to make a difference. It's either going to fire up that little Brazilian or he's going to go into his shell now, isn't he? You're never really sure, are you? Anyway, Arsenal in possession on this near side. Gabriel Jesus touches it back to Ben White. He's got to be careful, though, now. He's on a yellow card. Of course, the suspension that he would get from a red card tonight wouldn't be carried over to the weekend, of course. It would be the next Champions League game. But even so, you don't want to be suspended at all, do you? But anyway, well, Arsenal trying to be a little bit too clever there, give the ball away. It was Martinelli, and he chases after to try and win it back. It's Real Madrid 0, Dortmund 2 in one of the other games tonight. Aston Villa, of course, are at home to Bologna as well. They've had a good start to the season, Aston Villa, haven't they? Anyway, Arsenal going forward now. Martinelli on the edge of the box, tried to find Kai Havertz, couldn't get there. And now Shaktah can get another little bit of possession. They've not had much of the ball, have they, in this first half? But they are going to come forward now on that far side. See if they can find an equaliser, but they can't because Calafiore has won the ball back. Now it's with Leandro Trossard. Tries to thread the ball through to Havertz, cleared away though by Shaktah, sorry. I mean, most of them are Ukrainian, but it isn't the Ukrainian national team. It is Shaktah Donesk. Anyway, it is little Brazilian number 7, faced by Ben White. Plays the ball back. Well, that's a nice little reverse pass into midfield, and suddenly Ukraine have opened the play up here over on that far side. They've got a player over. This is looking a dangerous attack. They're just inside the Arsenal penalty. Ball comes in, but it's not a great cross. Straight into the arms there of David Raya. But that was a rare attack from the Ukrainians there. Good boy over on that far side. That was a nice move, actually. They've made a couple of little good passing movers, haven't they? But that was a terrible cross. There was no one in the box anyway, and the ball's gone straight to the goalkeeper. Waste, absolute waste. Anyway, Arsenal back in possession. And it's with Gabriel, finds Ben White. Sorry, William Saliba found Ben White. William Saliba gets it back again. And Arsenal just slowing it down. Now Trossard on this near side. Plays it back to William Saliba. Now it goes out to Gabriel over on the far side. Just over halfway. Finds Gabriel Martinelli. Right on that far touchline. Touches it back to Gabriel. William Sleeper now inside the centre circle, plays out this near side. Gabriel Jesus. Oh, that's a nice play. Gets past the fullback, whips across in, cleared away though on the edge of the 6-yard box. Party picks it up. That's with Martinelli over on that far side. Curls it in towards the far post. It's pulled back. Must be a goal. It's not. It's cleared away. Kai Havertz was almost in, and it was good defending at the last ditch there by the Ukrainian defence. It was a good cross from Martinelli. Gabriel Jesus headed it back into the 6-yard box, and Havertz threw himself at that. For any touch on that would have probably been the second goal. In the end, the defender just got in front of him there and managed to keep it out. Good play though it was from Arsenal. Martinelli's cross. No one was offside. Jesus flicked it back, and it would have been a diving header, brave diving header by Kai Havertz, but it was just cleared away there by the defender. And it was very, very almost 2-0. And Kai Havertz must have thought he'd scored, but in the end, it was cleared away. It remains 1-0 into the last 5 minutes of the first half. And now Shaktah coming forward again. Ben White again getting quite physical on a little Brazilian. Obviously realised he was having trouble earlier on. Decided the best way to deal with him is just to give him a kick about. And he's keeping him quiet anyway. Shaktah are coming forward now. And they're going to win a throw on this near side. We are into the last closing stages of this first half, which the game hasn't really grabbed their attention yet, as it really is. You know, Arsenal play some nice stuff at times. Shaktah have had 1 or 2 bright moments. There's not been a lot of goal scoring opportunities. And at the end of the day, that's what football's all about, isn't it? Football's about scoring goals, having shots at goal, you know, excitement around the penalty area. And this game has certainly lacked that in this first half, even though Arsenal have been the better team and fully deserve to be in front. It hasn't exactly been the most convincing performance. And Shaktah will be, you'd say, reasonably happy. Obviously, they'll be disappointed with the goal they conceded. Very unlucky they were. They've just got a player go down, actually. Their challenge in the middle of the pitch. And he's going to be a free kick to Shaktah. They're just showing a goal again. He was so unlucky, the goalkeeper there. And look on his face there. It says it already, doesn't it? He knows how unlucky he was. And Arsenal have scored. And it is a free kick, which Shaktah have taken. The ball's now back with the goalkeeper. And he's going to be credited with the only goal of this game so far. And that is a free kick to Arsenal, midway inside Arsenal's half. It was Guilaudo. I think his name's Guilaudo, this little Brazilian number 7. He's been a bright little player for him, actually. He's had some good moments, hasn't he? Probably been their most lively attacking player. Anyway, we're coming up towards half-time at the Emirates tonight in this group game. Kai Havertz bringing it forward on this near side, touches it off to Gabriel Jesus. Cuts in field and plays it back to Ben White. Closed down quickly, so passes across to Thomas Partey. Now Gabriel gets it out to that far side. Gabriel Martinelli right on that far touchline in front of those Shaktah fans in that far corner. Can he get across in? Ricardo Calafiori went on an overlap, but Gabriel Martinelli cuts inside, finds Thomas Partey, touches it off to William Saliba. Can also get a second goal before half-time. It's a nice time to score, isn't it, just before half-time? We always say that, don't we? And we get a second goal to just seal the deal, you'd feel, before half-time. Thomas Partey now touches it off to Gabriel. Plays it out to Calafiori over on that far side. He's wanting a bit of movement. They try to thread the ball through, but it's hit a defender. And again, Shaktah giving it away. Calafiori still forward. Oh, he tried to find Leandro Trossard. Gabriel Jesus won it back now. Jesus with a shot. Good save by the goalkeeper's legs. That should have been 2-0. And now suddenly on a counter-attack, Arsenal a little bit stretched. Shaktah got a man over on the far side. If he can find him, he didn't really make the most of that. Anyway, the little Brazilian number 7 tries a shot from the edge of the box. It's gone wide, and that was a big moment there in the game. It should have been 2-0 when Jesus' shot was well saved by the goalkeeper with his legs. And then straight away at the other end, it was a counter-attack from Shaktah Donetsk that almost brought them a goal. It was a nice touch off there by Kai Havertz, but Jesus maybe should have done better. It was on target. It was too close to the goalkeeper, though, made the save. And then straight away at the other end, Shaktah almost had a chance themselves to get the equaliser, but the shot went harmlessly wide. It remains 1-0. We're into the last minute of the first half. Mark C says, yeah, that just about sums Jesus up. Well, I thought earlier on summed him up when he took it round a couple of players, looked really good, and then tripped over, fell over, and lost the ball. That's pretty much his career at Arsenal. Probably his career everywhere, if we're honest. But we've noticed it more, obviously, since he's played for us. Anyway, it's going into the last 30 seconds now. Wouldn't have thought there'd be more than a minute of stoppage time. In fact, quite often in these Champions League games, you don't get any stoppage time at all, do you? And we haven't really had I don't think we've had a trainer on the pitch. There was a little injury, wasn't there, to the Brazilian guy when he got whacked in the face by Ben White. But other than that, that's about it. Anyway, Arsenal coming forward now with William Saliba. Plays it square to Ben White. We've played the 45 minutes. And there is going to be 1 minute of stoppage time. Still time for Arsenal to get maybe the second goal. Gabriel Jesus on his near side. Cuts in field. The shot's blocked. And it's not quite happening, is it, for Jesus in this game? And now suddenly Shaktah have got a counter-attack. There might be time for them to find an equaliser before half-time. They've got a few players forward in this attack. But it took too long. And Gabriel Jesus won it back. You can't really, you can't criticise his work rate, Gabriel Jesus. But when you're wearing number 9 and you was brought in as a striker, you do expect your striker to score most of your goals. And he just does not do that. And you've seen why tonight he can't finish his dinner. And says Gabriel Jesus keeps trying. He does keep trying. I say you can't criticise his work rate, but ultimately, as a striker, as a number 9, you counted on your goals, aren't you? Anyway, there goes a half-time whistle. It hasn't been a great game. Let's not make too many bones about it. It's been quite dull, but Arsenal do lead thanks to that own goal from the goalkeeper, Reznik. It was good play from Martinelli. In fact, it was a good move from Arsenal. Some nice slick passing. The ball ended up coming through to Martinelli over on that far side, cut inside, got a shot away, got a deflection, comes back off the post, hits the goalkeeper. And Martinelli's probably upset that the goal hasn't been given to him, but he can't really claim it because it wasn't on target. It was going to go out. In fact, Trossard, it may well have reached, it did not hit the goalkeeper. Mark C says he's not a natural finisher. No, he's not. He's not a natural finisher at all. You're absolutely right. But anyway, we haven't really got a natural goal scorer in this squad over in this team, have we? That's been our problem. But we do lead 1-0, so we can't really grumble too much, can we? Should we have a look at some of the other scores around the world? Let's have a look. It looks like Villa are in front as well. Let's just have a look, shall we? So these are scores, obviously, some full times. AC Milan 3, Bruges 1, Monaco 5, Red Star 1. So half time. Aston Villa 0, Bologna 0, actually. It's level. Sorry, I thought they were winning, but they're not. It's 0-0 there at Villa Park. Girona 1, Slovan Bratislav 0, Juventus 0, Stuttgart 0, PSG 0, PSV 1. That's a strange combination, isn't it? Real Madrid 0, Dortmund 2, as we said. Bit of a shock result there. And Stuttgart 0, Sporting Lisbon 1. That is half time. And a player called Nuno Santos has scored that goal. I'm sure it's not the same one who was manager of Nottingham Forest. Anyway, there are your scores there. Not too many goals in the evening games, but there were a few goals early kickoffs earlier on. There's games in the Championship as well, if anyone's interested. Cardiff 2, Portsmouth 0, Leeds 2, Watford 0, Oxford 1, Derby 0, Preston 2, Norwich 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0, Swansea 0, Stoke 2, Bristol City 0, and QPR 0, Coventry 1, League 1, Barnsley 1, Charlton 0, Birmingham 1, Bolton 0, Bristol Rovers 0, Shrewsbury 0, Burton Albion 1, Wickham 1, Crawley 0, Lincoln 0, Exeter 0, Reading 2, Leyton Orient 0, Rotherham 0, Peterborough 3, Blackpool 1, Stevenage 0, Cambridge 1, Stockport 0, Northampton 0, Wigan 0, Mansfield 1, and Wrexham 0, Huddersfield 0. League 2, there's games as well. Wimbledon 0, Morecambe 0, Barrow 1, Notts County 0, Cheltenham 1, Bradford 1, Chesterfield 0, Colchester 1, Doncaster 0, Bromley 1, Fleetwood 0, Crewe 0, Gillingham 0, Newport County 2, Harrogate 0, Port Vale 0, MK Dons 1, Accrington 0, Salford 1, Swindon 0, Tranmere 0, Grimsby 0, and Walsall 1, Carlisle 0. In the National League, Dagenham and Redbridge, my hometown club 2, Eastleigh 1, Forest Green 1, Ebbsfleet 0, Maidenhead United 2, Oldham 1, Rochdale 1, Halifax 0, Tamworth 0, Yeovil 0, York 1, Barnet 1. So there we go. They are some of the scores there across the country this evening in some of the games. Anyway, Andreas, as we ever say, dear my friend, good to see you. He says, fully deserved lead at half time. Well, it is a fully deserved lead. Yeah, it's not been a great game, though, let's be honest. It has not been a good game, but we don't really care because we're winning. Greg says, the bonus is we've still got 11 players on the pitch. Well, at the moment we have, yeah. Although Ben White's maybe on a bit shaky ground, isn't he? Angie's laughing there at Greg. Oh, we got Grot with us here. He says, hi there. Finally, I can watch the game in a proper way. Yes, it's nice to be able to do so, isn't it? Chin says, I wish Kai score and have a record of scoring 8 games streak. 8 games at the Emirates, indeed. Maybe he will score in the second half. Still got time, hasn't he? Still got time. Rajendra says, boring Arsenal. 1-0 to the Arsenal days of George Graham. It is, yeah, but for some reason, this team doesn't have the same personality, does it? That the 1-0 to the Arsenal George Graham team. Having said that, I was sort of thinking earlier now that the 1-0 to the Arsenal from George Graham was came about, didn't it, after the really exciting team, with the likes of, Merson and Rocky and, Michael Thomas, and scoring goals from all over the place, winning league titles with exciting football. And then there was that transition, wasn't there, where we started replacing players like Rocky with the likes of David Hillier. And no disrespect to David Hillier, he was a fantastic player, but he wasn't a creative player. And that was kind of the transition that went, didn't it? Steve Morrow was playing in midfield. Martin Keown was playing in midfield. And that was how Arsenal became, didn't they? And if you look at the Arsenal team now, we've got rid of players like Smith Rowe and Reece Nelson. We've got in players like Marino, who's very, very defensive-minded. And we seem to be doing the same thing. Only we haven't won the trophies with the exciting team that George Graham did. We've had to have an exciting team that didn't win anything, and now we're going to have, it looks like a more pragmatic, boring team. Is that going to be the thing that makes us win things? I don't know. We will have to see, won't we? Andrea says, once again, that we should be more clinical in front of goal. Well, yeah, we haven't created anything really, have we? We've had a couple of long-range shots we haven't really done anything with, and yeah, it's been, not great, really. Mark C says, would you take White off? He's sitting on the yellow. Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's not going to affect the Premier League, is it? He'll get suspended for the next Champions League game. Maybe give one of the youngsters a chance. We could always bring, what's his name, Miles Lewis Skelly on. He plays that position. So, yeah, it's a possibility. Big Arteta won't do it, though. Grot says, I asked you, there is an older man in the Arsenal audience that is shown 85% of the time that Arsenal score at home site. Is this guy famous in the AFC family? I think I know the one that you mean. And he's famous in the sense that he's got tickets in the front row. So obviously he's going to get picked up by the camera quite a lot. And he's on Twitter and stuff. And yeah, he's sort of social media famous, I suppose, as an Arsenal fan. But yeah, he's obviously got good seats, hasn't he? He's got good seats, and that's why he gets on the telly quite a lot. I was on the telly once. We played Leeds, and I was in the front row, and we scored a few goals, and the camera kept turning around and seeing the crowd, and I was right behind the camera. So yeah. But if you've got a seat like that every week, you're laughing, aren't you? Because you're going to get noticed. Andrea says Ben White could be the one today for the red card. He could be if he carries on. Mark C says, Rich, I knew when Graham was losing the plot when he kept criticising Anders Limpar over his lack of defending. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's kind of summed up, didn't it? A creative player like Anders Limpar, who was a very off-the-cuff player, and a player that I always look on and think, what wasn't going to play in a structured team pattern? It's not the way he played. And when he first came, he was brilliant. I think George maybe thought, you know what, I'll just let him do his thing for the time being. Obviously helped us win the league in 91. And then slowly he did want more defensive work from him. And you can see a similar thing now with this team, right? The way that we're going, we've got attacking players having to defend. I spend a lot of time defending. And yes, the structure of the team's important. But I think every team of 11 players on the pitch, you can accommodate one one player with a bit of personality, one player who's going to do things off the cuff. And Arteta doesn't even want one, does he? He doesn't even want one of them type of players. It doesn't seem. You know, Trossard's maybe the only one you can look at and think he's a little bit different. But even he's having that almost knocked out of him a little bit, isn't he? In some ways. But anyway, Chan says Calafiori should have scored from a corner at Tillman. That was, yeah, he fired over, didn't he? From very close range. He should have put that in. Absolutely should have done. Rajendra says Lee Dixon, 4-time league winner. I felt he underrates himself. He was an excellent player. No, he was brilliant, Lee Dixon. He was, yeah, consistent, wasn't he? I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? You know, Arsenal had that defence, you know, with Winterburn at left back, so consistent. Lee Dixon at right back, so consistent. Obviously, Tony Adams and Steve Bold, Martin Keown played there. They were just all solid and consistent, wasn't they? They you know, they did everything that they needed to do on a regular basis. There wasn't spectacular players. There wasn't outstanding players individually. None of them, really. There wasn't. But they didn't need to be because they just worked as a unit, didn't they? And yeah, Lee Dixon was fantastic. Grot says there, speaking of, I found myself in the audience during the Champions League game, Arsenal link. Oh, did you? Well, there you go. You see, it happens, doesn't it? If you get good seats, you've got a chance, haven't you? Greg says Dixon was good at scoring own goals. He did score a few own goals. Do you remember that own goal against Coventry at Highbury? I think it was in the first minute of the game, and I think we might have been David Seaman played the ball out to him, and he looked to play the ball forward, couldn't see anyone, so without really looking, he just sort of chipped it back towards David Seaman. In them days, the goalkeepers could pick the ball up. It's not like now when they had to kick it, so he played it back to him. And of course, David Seaman was off his line. It went over his head. It went into the net. And after about a minute, and we ended up losing that game to Coventry at home. But we forgave him because he was fantastic, wasn't he? Grot says, I would claim that the squad of 1998 was the greatest in modern times. Yeah, I kind of agree. Obviously, the 98 team was fantastic because it had the brilliant defence of the George Graham days, and it had the attack that Arsene Wenger was building and the evolution of the style. And that was really good, wasn't it? So yeah, obviously the 2004 squad, the Invincibles, was probably a better team in the way that we could, whatever happened in a game, we was able to turn it around. And you know, we had Thierry Henry, Robert Pires, you know, all these great players. I would say the 98 team was probably my favourite team. I would definitely say that. But that was probably because at the time I had a season ticket. I was going to every away game, and maybe I just saw that team more live, you know, with Bergkamp, obviously, and, you know, Anelka was coming through. Vieira was, you know, still young, but developing into a fantastic player. And yeah, it was just a great time, wasn't it? It was a great time. Mark C says that's when defenders were judged on defending and not how good their crossing was. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think that in the days before, you know, like all this game based on stats and stuff like that, you know, it wasn't really like that then, was it? So yeah. Greg says that was the best goal he scored. I was there that day and laughing. Yeah, I was there as well. I was in the clock end. I was at the North Bank where he scored it. But yeah, seem to remember the weather was quite nice. The sun was out. And yeah, it was a strange own goal. But I think the best goal he scored was probably the one at Chelsea, which was a late equaliser. I think it might have been that later on that same season, and it was at Stamford Bridge. And we were losing, and he kind of broke forward and smashed one into the top corner. In fact, he got a great goal against Chelsea at Highbury as well. I think a game that we drew, was it 1-1, and that was a late equaliser as well. I think the ball fell to him outside the box and he smashed it into the top corner. So he did get a few good goals at the right end as well. But yeah, I think everyone who was at Highbury that day against Coventry will never forget that own goal. It was quite remarkable. I don't know if there's any clips of it on YouTube anymore. I'm not sure. But if there is, if you don't remember it or you wasn't old enough, whatever it is, go and check it out. It's quite funny. Lee Dixon's own goal versus Coventry. I think it was 1991. But yeah, he did score some good goals at the other end as well. So we'll give him his due for that. Grot says Perez was great until that fateful injury. That after that he was more restricted. I don't know the right word. He held back more, wasn't as brave as before. He wasn't actually. I kind of agree. Well, what he did was, what I noticed with Perez after, because it was an ACL that he got, and when he came back, he adapted his game because he couldn't run quite the same, and he adapted his. I wouldn't necessarily say he wasn't quite as brave. he scored a lot more goals afterwards, and I think he played in a different way after the injury. But I don't think it made him worse necessarily. It was just different. I say that his style of running became a bit different. The way he kicked the ball was slightly different. The role that he played in the team was slightly different. But yeah, I mean, he was fantastic for Arsenal. He was a brilliant player. His link up with Thierry Henry was just unbelievable, wasn't it? Always seemed to find them passes, didn't he? So many of Thierry Henry's goals were Robert Pires' assists. Just incredible. Yeah, fantastic stuff. Regenda says, hit the lights for more goals. Indeed. Regenda says that Pires was another fantastic player. He was brilliant. I mean, we had so many great players, didn't we? In that kind of period, the early years of Arsene Wenger, he found these great players, didn't he? Yes, a lot of them were French from playing in the French league, which he knew very, very well. And yeah, that it was a fantastic time, wasn't it? Exciting time. Exciting players, exciting games. Grot says, if we're speaking of great goals, we have to mention Dennis Bergkamp and Newcastle. Yeah, indeed. I mean, that was, wow. I mean, Dennis Bergkamp's got his own special little catalogue of fantastic goals, hasn't he? But yeah, that was, I mean, I think that's been voted the greatest ever Premier League goal, hasn't it? Dennis Bergkamp's goal against Newcastle, I think it is. But he scored so many in there, that hat-trick against Leicester. I was at that game. That was an incredible 3 goals he scored in that one. They were brilliant stuff. I mean, so many. There was one at Southampton. Just the list is endless, isn't it, of Dennis Bergkamp goals. We were so fortunate to witness him playing for Arsenal. And I say in them days, I had a season ticket. I was there every week, home and away, and it was brilliant times. Anyway, Arsenal made a sub at half time. And it isn't actually who we expected to come on, Ethan Ranweri. It's actually Mikel Merino. And if Ben White's going off, obviously the yellow card probably played a part in that. And he's brought on not a young player to give them an opportunity at Champions League. He's brought on probably the most boring player we've ever signed in Mikel Merino. He just looks boring. He plays boring. He just doesn't really get you excited, does he? And he's got very Mikel Arteta type hair as well, which is a little bit of a concern, isn't it? Maybe it's just a Spanish thing. Greg says, what we'd give to have midfield players like that now. Exactly, yeah. What we would give, absolutely. I'd love to see an exciting team again like that. Mark C says, Marino's on. Well, I know he is, yeah. Just we were hoping the second half was going to get more exciting. We bring on the most boring player we've got. But that sums up this manager. It's the most boring manager we've ever had, I think. Anyway, we've got some great, exciting young talent on the bench. Doesn't use it. Anyway, it's half time. Second half, so it's up and underway. Arsenal kicking off. Attacking the goal to our left, the North Bank in this second half. The ball's back with David Wade. He's going to go long because that's how we always kick off. It's so choreographed the way we play, isn't it? It's almost laughable how choreographed it is actually. Now other teams don't really figure out how to stop us. More and more teams are, I suppose, now. But anyway, Mark C says, come on, Rich. Eddie McGoldrick was the most boring player we've signed. Absolutely not. Don't you say anything bad about Eddie McGoldrick. He's a friend of the channel. I love Eddie McGoldrick. And it didn't work out for him at Arsenal. Absolutely not. It didn't. We know that. He's admitted it himself. He came on the show. I don't know if you've seen it. I had him on the show talking about his career. And he even admitted himself it didn't quite work out for him at Arsenal for one reason or another. But I wouldn't say he was the most boring signing we've ever had. No. There you go. Grot says, Calloway's hat-trick, as the way we say around here, was quite hated at the time. Scored 3 to save us 1 point. No, he got us 3 points. Yeah, we were 2-0 down. Kanu at Chelsea. Yeah, that was a great hat-trick, actually. Talking of great hat-tricks, that was incredible. Brilliant stuff. I was at that game as well. Pouring down with rain it was. We were 2-0 down, about 10 minutes to go. And then, Kanu said, you know what? Nah, we're going to win this game. He scored 3. Oh, and that's a big chance for Arsenal. Martinelli's cross, Trossard's header. He's put it just wide, and that would have probably sealed this game, actually, because you can't see Shaktah getting 2 goals. Martinez, good cross, flicked on there by Trossard and wasn't quite on target. He didn't quite get enough on it, did he? And says, Mikel on, indeed. Chan says, my uncle said that Sanogo was the GOAT. Well, of course he was. Sanogo, do you remember, was it the Emirates Cup when Sanogo scored? Was it 4 goals against Benfica or somebody? That was hilarious. And I actually thought Sanogo was actually quite underrated. I remember in the 2014 FA Cup final, he came on and helped create the winning goal and actually made a big impact in that game when he came on, I thought. And I didn't think he was as bad a player as everybody says. But anyway, okay, back to the game. See you all later. Bye-bye. Yep, see you later, my friend. See you very soon. Anyway, Arsenal have started the second half on the front foot, looking just to get that second goal, really. And I'm just wondering that Thomas Partey's gone to right back, by the way. Now, we've got a young player who's a right back, and his name is Miles Lewis Skelly. And he's an exciting talent, and he plays right back, right? But what Mikel Arteta would rather do is bring on a boring midfield player and play a midfield player in Thomas Partey at right back instead of playing an actual right back to give him some experience in the second half of this game. And that just sums up this manager for me. Sums him up. So now we've got Thomas Partey playing right back instead of a midfield player. What's the point of having a right back on the bench if you're not going to use your right back when you need to? What's the point? What is the point? If I was any of these young players, I'd be wanting to leave. It's pointless staying. You're never going to get opportunities, mate. Rajendra says he plays exciting for Spain, but not quite fitted in our. Well, I mean, everybody plays exciting when they don't play for Arsenal. Martinelli's even said it himself. Mikel Arteta restricts everybody, so of course he looks exciting for Spain. He doesn't really look that exciting, does he? He's just a boring-looking player, isn't he? Mark C says Sanogo, there was a false start. I like Sanogo. Don't you knock him? I thought he was a lot better than he was given credit for. He never played enough games, quite honestly, which at the time you probably understand why. But I think he was better than Shamak, and Shamak played a lot more games than Sanogo, and I think Sanogo was better than Shamak. There you go. That's my controversial comment of the night. Sanogo was better than Shamak. What do we think? Rajendra says again, Martinelli injury prone. I won't say Martinelli's injury prone, is he? Anyway, we've got the ball over on that far side. Gabriel Jesus, can he get the cross in? He does get the cross in. Oh, it's actually beat the keeper. It's going to come to Martinelli on this near side. But in fact, the ball must have gone out and come back in again because it's going to be a goal kick. Grot says there, Lundberg scored a beauty in the FA Cup final. Ray Parlour went crazy behind the opponent's net. No, that was Lee Dixon, I think, that because Ray Parlour was playing, wasn't he? Because he scored in that game as well. He'd already scored, and then I think it was Lee Dixon did that celebration, didn't he? He was warming up behind the goal when Lundberg scored. Great days. Now, of course, obviously, there's a lot of Arsenal fans these days won't remember the days of actually winning trophies and how good that feels because they're quite happy coming second and not winning anything. But there you go. I kind of like the days when we used to win trophies and stuff. It's quite fun, wasn't it? Cup finals and that, brilliant. Days out in the sunshine, watching goals like Lundberg scored at the Millennium Stadium, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. But let's just finish second off virtually. It's all right. Mikel's got nice hair. It's fine. Anyway, is Shaktah coming forward now looking for an equaliser in this game? We've played 5 minutes of the second half. Apart from that, from Trossard, we've not really had too much to get excited about. Rajendra says, Sanogo is injured. Yeah, he did have a bit of an injury issue. Yes, he did. You're right. But it's a shame really because I actually thought he could have been quite good. Grot says, you might be right there about Dixon. Yeah, I'm sure it was Lee Dixon behind that goal because I say Ray Parlour was playing because he scored that first goal, didn't he? Which was quite those 2 goals were probably 2 of the best FA Cup final goals. Of course, apart from Alexis Sanchez against Aston Villa, of course, when he smashed one in from about 25 yards in the 2015 final, which was a great goal, wasn't it? But who's the other player? No, I thought you meant Martinelli because you mentioned Martinelli and then you said injury prone. I thought you meant Martinelli being injury prone. Obviously, he wasn't. Oh, you mean Shamak? Yeah, Marion Shamak, who was a similar kind of in style, wasn't he? Joined Arsenal about the same sort of time, a little bit earlier. And he started off quite well and then completely went off the boil and he ended up going to Crystal Palace and didn't score for them. And I always thought that Sanogo potentially was a better player than Shamak. Even though he didn't, I say the injuries maybe didn't help. But yeah, interesting to know what people think. And says Freddie, indeed. Who can not love Freddie Lundberg? Come on. Even though when he took charge of Arsenal as a caretaker manager, it was absolutely terrible. I can forgive him because he was Freddie and he had red hair and we loved him. And he scored some amazing goals, didn't he? Freddie Lundberg, just incredible. What a player. Brilliant. He loved the goal against Man U as well, didn't he? He scored in his debut against Man U. Seemed to score loads of goals against Man U, didn't he? Chan says, Jesus don't pass to Kai and White. He wants to dribble and score. He thinks he's Messi. I agree with you. He doesn't want to pass to anybody. No, he wants to take on the world, doesn't he, Jesus? Anyway, he can't pass to White now because White's gone off, which we assumed for the yellow card that he suffered in that first half. And obviously, we don't really want to play with 10 men again, do we? Because as Mikel Arteta says, he doesn't know how to win with 10 men. He can't figure it out. Anyway, the goalkeeper got himself in a mess with Martinelli, and Martinelli almost takes the ball off him, and a little battle there in the penalty area. But the goalkeeper got away with that, and he can maybe have a little smile about it now. But Martinelli almost embarrassed him there, trying to take the ball off him. Rajendra says, how come I don't know any of it? Well, I don't know. You'll have to have a look. Marian Shamak, his name is. I think he was Moroccan. I think he was Moroccan. And he joined Arsenal about 2009, I think it was, 2010, around that sort of time. And he started off having a really good season. He scored a few goals, and then he did go off the boil. I was looking for the second goal, and the cross comes in. He's going to call out to Martinelli. Is he going to score? No, he's not, because the goalie saved it. It wasn't a great finish, if we're totally honest. It opened up there over on that far side initially, Arsenal's right, sorry. The cross came in from Declan Rice, came all the way through to Martinelli. I mean, he hit it well enough, but it gave the goalkeeper the opportunity to make the save. It was actually Kai Havertz's cross, sorry, from that far side. And then Martinelli's shot was shuffled round the post by the goalkeeper. Actually, he's had a good game tonight, the Shaktah goalkeeper. He's even got himself on the score sheet, so it's been a good night all round for him. And it is a corner to Arsenal, which Declan Rice is going to take. Again, it could be 2-0. We've had a couple of chances early in the second half, haven't we, to make it 2-0. Hasn't quite happened. But then there's another shot from Martinelli. Indeed, it was. Maybe wasn't the greatest effort at goal, but it did produce a save. And Arsenal got a corner. Everybody's lining up at the far post. Corner comes into the near post, and it's straight into the arms of the goalkeeper. And that didn't quite work out too well, did it? Declan Rice has had some good corners in his Arsenal career, but that wasn't one of them. And it remains Arsenal 1 at Shaktah Donesk 0 in this group game in the new European Super League format, which hasn't really got us too excited, if we're honest, as yet. It's only really the knockout stage we care about, isn't it, in Europe? The group stages are quite dull. I prefer the European Cup when it wasn't a group stage. It was straight knockout from round one. You know, Martinelli on his near side. And he didn't have the ridiculous law where you couldn't play a team from your own nation. Oh, Trossard fired just wide there. Where I remember one year when Liverpool were the holders of the European Cup, and in the first round they played Nottingham Forest in the first round. At home and away, and Nottingham Forest knocked them out. So Liverpool were the holders, got us that first round in September. And of course, Spice went on to win the European Cup that season as well. They won it 2 years in a row, didn't they? But there you go. Grot says Perez also did a... I don't know what that means there. When he jumps in the air, his whole body crumbles up, and then he sort of used his feet as a hockey stick and forced the ball. Celebrated on the LCD. I know what you mean. Yeah, the way he used it was like a hockey stick, actually, wasn't it? That's true. Angie says, "I love my FA Cup." Oh, we all do. We all certainly do. Regina says, "There another shot from outside the box." It was. Yeah, that was Trossard just went wide. We have had more shots from outside the box in this game than we have pretty much all season. I don't know whether it's an actual tactical thing or whether the players, just decided, you know what, we're going to have some shots. It hasn't quite paid off too much yet, although it did lead to the goal that we have scored that we didn't sort of score. Anyway, Shaktah coming forward over on that far side, but Thomas Partey wins the ball in his unusual right-back position. Why not play a midfielder at right-back? You don't need to play a right-back there, do you? Anyway, it's Shaktah coming forward over on that far side again. The ball's played back. Gabriel Jesus doing some good defensive work. And Shaktah now looking to come forward over on that far side. 56 minutes played. Still Arsenal 1, Shaktah 0. Own goal in the first half. Roland says, Marian Shamak was the Olivier Giroud before Giroud. He was a great header of the ball. He was productive for us, unlike Diarra. See, he was at the beginning, Shamak, but he ended up not really working out, did he? But he was a Giroud type of player, wasn't he? He was definitely a Giroud type player. Obviously, Giroud was the master. It's almost come to the point there, isn't it? Giroud was so good at what he did that even now people say we need a Giroud player, because it almost like, you know, he's made that centre forward traditional centre forward position. It's his position. We call it a Giroud, don't we? So yeah, absolutely. Grot says, okay, now we'll focus on the game. See you after full time if nothing exceptional happens. I don't think nothing exceptional will happen. Anyway, Shay asked me, it was good evening to you. Remember to hit the like button and subscribe if you're new. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, remember to hit the subscribe button and hit the like as well. So very good advice. So yes, please, if that's what you want to do, that'd be great. But yes, Giroud was fantastic. I still say that type of player is what we could do with now as an option from the bench. You know, but anyway, we're not going to get one, so we don't need to stop worrying about it, is it? Anyway, Shaktah in possession inside their own hole, just inside the Arsenal half, sorry, trying to come forward, but they don't really look like scoring, do they? Let's be honest. But then we've said that plenty of times this season when we played at home. Do you remember the Leicester game? We were cruising, Leicester aren't going to score. And then suddenly out of the blue, they've scored 2 goals and we had to fight for that victory. And what other game was it where we were comfortable and then we conceded a daft goal? We've done it a few times, actually, haven't we? Anyway, Rajendra says, Alan Smith. Well, yeah, Alan Smith was the original, I suppose, wasn't he? Anyway, cross comes in and, Shaktah, they're looking dangerous and they're still trying to come forward again. It was a good ball into the box and Arsenal managed to survive. Alan Smith was fantastic, wasn't he? He was that centre forward, wasn't he? That traditional, if you like, centre forward. Scored over 100 goals for Arsenal, of course. So did Giroud, actually. He's got over 100 goals for Arsenal. But their goal scoring record very similar, Giroud and Alan Smith. The number of goals that they scored, the games that they played, especially in their first 5 seasons. Anyway, Shaktah coming forward now, but that wasn't a good ball. Arsenal can now launch a counter-attack with Declan Rice. Now it's over on that far side. Kai Havertz touches it in field. Gabriel Jesus. Trossard's trying to stay on side. Instead, the ball comes up this near side to Gabriel Martinelli. He's had a good game tonight, Martinelli. He goes around the outside of the fullback. Can he get the cross in? Calafiori went up to support him and now's had to check his run. That cross comes in towards the far post. Looking for Thomas Partey, but Shaktah clear it away. Now they've got a chance of a counter-attack themselves. A little Brazilian number 7 over on that far side. He's seen off Ben White. Is he going to see off Thomas Partey as well? He's still got the ball here. You always think he's going to try something a little bit clever when he gets it, doesn't he? Instead, he just played it out to that far side. But Shaktah looked pretty good for the last 10 minutes, actually. They've had a lot of possession. They've been forcing us back. And they're coming forward now up this near side. While it's only 1-0, you're never quite assured of winning, are you? No matter how the game's gone. While it's only 1-0, I'm sure Shaktah will get a chance. They'll have an opportunity to score. In this second half, they'll probably get more than one. And who knows? We do need a second goal just to really finish it off. You can't see Shaktah scoring twice necessarily. But you can't see them scoring twice from 2-0 down. If they were to get an equaliser now, then you could maybe see them going and get another one because confidence changes, doesn't it? But you do think if we go 2-0 up, they're not going to get 2 goals, are they? But it is only 1-0. They are in possession, although Arsenal have forced them back well inside their own half. But now they can try and thread the ball through the line. Oh, a better first touch there. Looked like it may have been an offside. I think the flag stayed down. Oh, that could have been a moment. Aston Villa have just scored. They are leading Bologna. It's John McGinn with the goal for them. They've had a good start to their Champions League campaign as well, haven't they, Aston Villa? And they're 1-0 up tonight at Villa Park. And they will be heading for another 3 points if it stays like that. Anyway, Arsenal looking for 3 points as well. Ange B says 28 likes. 28 likes ain't very good, is it? No wonder it's only 1-0 and it's a bit of a boring game. We need at least 50 likes, don't we? So come on, guys. If you haven't liked yet, give us a like. Come on, it's free. You just got to click that button. It's the little button that looks a little bit like that. That's the one. Just press that. It's free and it's brilliant. And it does mean that it helps the channel. You can do your bit to help the channel, to help the team. And that's what you can do. And if you do kind of think, you know what, this isn't too bad a show. It's not too bad a channel. You can always subscribe as well. Click on the subscribe button. That's free as well. And we'll always be free. It'll always be free to subscribe. You can subscribe for free. And it's great. And you can join us on all the shows that we do. And if you put a comment in, I'll put it on the screen and we'll have a little chat about it. Anyway, Shaktah coming forward on this near side. Martinelli's got to do his defensive work, which he does well. And it's gone behind. If that's off the Shaktah winger, and it's going to be a goal kick. He's not very happy. He thought it was a corner there. Or is it a corner? He's shaking his head. I'm sure it wasn't given as a corner. Anyway, there's going to be 2 substitutions now for Shaktah. And it's going to be interesting to see what difference they make. In fact, it's a corner. It's a corner. Fair enough. I wonder what was happening there. He didn't look very happy, did he, this Shaktah player? I thought they'd given a goal kick. But anyway, it is a corner to Shaktah. Very rare opportunity to get the ball into the box. It's curled in. Headed out, though, by Kai Havertz. Fairly easily dealt with there by Arsenal. Not too many problems there, was there, really? Roland says, I was thinking that lanky striker from Crystal Palace would be a perfect option off the bench for Arsenal. Do you mean Mateta? Is that the one you mean? Mateta. I quite like him as well, actually. He scores quite a few goals, doesn't he? Actually, Mateta. Mark C says 2 more Brazilians coming on. Yeah, I think there is, yeah. They've certainly got their fair share of Brazilians, haven't they? I thought we had a few Brazilians, but I think Shaktah have beaten us in the count of Brazilians. They may not be winning the game, but they're certainly winning. Oh, one, he's called Kevin. He's a Brazilian called Kevin. That's great, isn't it? And the other one's called Pedrinho. It's a bit more like a Brazilian name, isn't it? Pedrinho. But Kevin, what a great name, Kevin. Brilliant. I wonder if that's actually his actual name. Because quite often they're not called their actual names, are they? Like Pele, for example. His name wasn't Pele, was it? It was something that I can't remember. But anyway, Kevin's on. I'm quite looking forward to seeing what Kevin can do. But it's still 1-0. And the possession's kind of changed a bit in the second half. Shaktah got it up to 40%. They hardly had the ball in the first half. They've certainly played a lot better in the second half. Now their goalie's going on a little bit of a run just outside his penalty area. The ball played up that far side. And suddenly Shaktah was almost in there, but Mikel Merino shuffles it back towards David Raya, who's managed to keep it in. In fact, we're a team of Brazilians and Spaniards now, aren't we? Pretty much. With the odd English player thrown in. Anyway, Trossard now inside the centre. We have a loose touch, but does manage to keep possession. Ricardo Calafiore finds Gabriel, and he plays it forward to Mikel Merino. Plays it square to Calafiore. And he touches it off to Declan Rice. Plays like that far side. Havertz and Jesus exchange passes. Now it's with Thomas Partey. Arsenal just happy to keep a bit of possession because we haven't had too much in the last 10, 15 minutes or so. We've played 65 minutes, so we're midway through the second half. There's been no change to the score. It is still Arsenal 1, Shaktah Donesk 0 in this game in the group stage. Real Madrid have pulled one back against Dortmund. It's now 2-1. It's Rudiger with that goal. Former Chelsea player, of course. And Real Madrid may well end up coming back and getting a result there. I'm sure they'll still qualify. Yeah, Calafiore now tries to bring the ball forward. And he's lost out. He's lost out to one of the little Brazilians. And now suddenly Shaktah have got a player over here inside the penalty area. And Mikel Merino almost made a meal of it, but ended up getting fouled. And Shaktah didn't really make the most of that. It was mistake after mistake there from Arsenal. And that time it was Ricardo Calafiore gave the ball away, and suddenly Ukraine had Shaktah had a player over here. It wasn't the best ball to him, actually. And in the end, it was a foul. Calafiore just got absolutely barged off the ball there by the little number 7, who's had a good game. And now Calafiore has gone down. Chan says 1-0, it's over. Well, it's not over at 1-0. It's never over at 1-0. Martin Odegaard and Kieran Tierney are up there in the stands. Is Kieran Tierney injured? Does anybody know? Because if not, you wonder why he's not even been in the squad. I'm assuming he must be injured. And he's a player who has got a bad injury record. I do feel sorry for him. But he was one of the unfortunate ones that wasn't brought in by Mikel Arteta. So he's never going to be given opportunity, is he, really? Because Mikel Arteta only really likes his own players. Bukayo Saka's in the stands there with his girlfriend. Good to see him. Hopefully he'll be back very, very shortly because we certainly miss him, don't we? Anyway, Calafiore is he going to be okay? Oh, his knee kind of did buckle a little bit there, didn't it? He did just get completely pushed off the ball there. And then he's overstretched it, hasn't he? Oh, that could be quite nasty, that actually. And he's been injured before, hasn't he, Calafiore? And in fact, he's having to go off. Well, Raheem Sterling's coming on. Christ, are things that bad? We've got to bring Raheem Sterling on. I thought things had to be really bad for him to play. Anyway, Raheem Sterling's coming on. I don't know whether Calafiore is going off. He's had to come off because he just received some treatment. In fact, it's going to be Gabriel Jesus who's going off. Again, he flattered to deceive, didn't he? Again, he's not scoring, and he's been replaced by his former Man City teammate, Raheem Sterling. They're probably my two least favourite players, I've got to be honest, in this Arsenal team. And they've just replaced each other. So at least we haven't got to see both of them. I suppose Zinchenko. Funny, isn't it? Is it a Man City thing? Because I don't like Zinchenko much either. Anyway, Chan says, I saw Mudryk. Yeah, Mudryk. Was that? Yeah, it was Mudryk, yeah. Roland says, Shaktah have a great scouting network in South America. They get the young talent in, develop them, and then sell them on for a profit. Arsenal needs to get in the multi-club model for sustainability. Well, yeah, we're not really all about sustainability, though, are we? We're just about keeping Mikel Arteta for as long as it's going to be humanly possible for a manager to survive in a job without actually winning anything. And we're just going to have to get used to it, aren't we? But no, they certainly must have some sort of South American scout there, the amount of Brazilians they've got. And they do all look quite young, don't they, as well? And talented, what we've seen of them. We haven't seen too much of Kevin yet, though. I was looking forward to seeing what Kevin could do. Because is he not like a carrot at Asda or something? Is Kevin the carrot, was it? Can't remember now. Anyway, Raheem Sterling's got the ball, and now he's got it back. And he's gone past a couple of challenges, and then he doesn't know what to do, and he shuffles his feet and loses the ball. I just really do not like him. I'm sorry. I just don't rate him as a player. Villa have gone 2-0 up. John Duran has scored. He's a talented player, John Duran, isn't he? Aston Villa. Calafiore's gone down again. See, Real Madrid got it to 2-2. Vinicius Jr. and now Ethan Ranweri looks as though he might be coming on. And Calafiore is probably not going to play much longer, is he? I think that's his race run. And it all came about with that injury a bit earlier on. Looked like he pulled his knee. And if he's not fit for Sunday, that is another disaster for Arsenal. And this is a problem when you keep consistently playing the same 11 week after week after week after week after week after week after week. Eventually, they start getting injured, and we could be down to 2 defenders on Sunday, which is going to be a lot of fun, isn't it? Anyway, Calafiore's going off. It's going to be Lewis Skelly. Now it's coming on. He's bringing Lewis Skelly on now. Instead of bringing him on at half time to play right back, he's now going to have to play left back. Anyway. Grot says there, I bet they got the sub for cheap for pennies or sterlings. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anyway, Lewis Skelly's got to take his earring out. Surely you know you can't wear earrings, mate. Everybody knows you can't wear earrings. Come on. You know what I mean? You're a professional footballer, mate. What you've got earrings on for, sitting on the bench, you tit. Christ. No wonder Mikel Arteta didn't bring him on. Change your mind. Bring someone else on. You can't bring him on. It's ridiculous. Got earrings in. What's going on? Anyway, Shaktah coming forward. They'll fancy their chances here in the last 20 minutes. They'll fancy their chances. Mark C says, if he's not fit for Sunday, we'll be screwed. Exactly, yeah, we'll be in big trouble. We'll be in big trouble. Because you imagine he may well have been the one to step into centre-back. And now he's not going to. He looks like he looks like he'd pulled his over exerted his knee. And that can be a while to recover from that. And I'm not sure if it will. Chan says Lewis and Ethan deserve to play in Champions League. Absolutely, of course they do. Although they need to get their earrings sorted out. Well, Lewis Skelly certainly does. Anyway, they're trying to come forward again, and there's a foul there on the edge of the box. Egualdo again causing us some problems. He's gone down, and now he's sorted his earring problem out. Miles Lewis Skelly is about to come on for Ricardo Calafiore. Ange B says, can't say he's going on Sunday. Well, let's see what the team is first. But if Saka's out, Erdogan's out, Saliba's out, if Calafiore's out, wow, that's a big ask, isn't it? Anyway, Lewis Skelly has come on. And we are, 19 minutes away from what would be a rather, I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it, really, an unmemorable Arsenal victory, and it will be really unmemorable. No matter what happens in the rest of the season, we will not look back on this game with too much fond memories, will we? Let's be honest. But if we get the 3 points, doesn't matter too much, does it? Anyway, Lewis Skelly does well there, finds Gabriel. Not too sure what shape of the team we've got here. We seem to be all over the place at the minute. Anyway, Declan Rice decides he's going to take matters into his own hands. Plays the ball up that far side to Raheem Sterling. Kai Havertz gives it back to Raheem Sterling. And he tries to give it back to Kai Havertz, but it gets deflected out for a throw, which Raheem Sterling takes. I think his hair doesn't help him, actually. I mean, I don't like him much anyway, but when he's got that stupid haircut, it makes me like him even less. Anyway, it is now with Martinelli. He's got much more sensible hair, hasn't he? Let's be honest. And Lewis Skelly plays it forward. Declan Rice, who's probably got the most sensible hair out of everybody, finds Martinelli again. Can he get the cross in? Cuts in field. Plays it back to Gabriel. Now it's with Mikel Merino and William Saliba. Thomas Partey plays it back to Gabriel. Fires it up this near side to Gabriel Martinelli. There was a runner ahead of him there. It was Mikel Merino who's got the ball now. What's the cross like? It's not bad. It's not bad. Trossard was coming in at the near post. It's been deflected behind for a corner. And that was a good little bit of play there from Arsenal. He wasn't offside, Mikel Merino. It wasn't a bad cross, actually. And Trossard was trying to get there at the near post. Couldn't quite manage to. And it's gone behind for a corner. Gabriel's in there, of course. William Saliba's in there, of course. And Arsenal looking to see if we can get a second goal, which would seal it, wouldn't it? Let's be honest. The second goal would definitely seal it. And then that would be game over with, what, 14, 15 minutes to play. They're all lined up again at the, beyond the far post. This is how we like to do it. And I'm not sure what the referee is waiting for. He must be getting some VAR stuff. Not sure what, is it for a handball, is it? Didn't look like a handball, did it? The ref's going over to the screen. I'm not sure what he's meant to be looking at here. Someone's going to have to tell me. Oh, is it a handball? Did it bounce up and hit his arm? Oh, it might have hit his arm, actually, looking at that slow motion. Yeah, I think it has hit his arm. I think that's going to be a penalty, actually. I think that'll be a penalty because he's put his arm down on that. Yeah, that's a penalty. That I'm sure the ref is going to give a penalty. And this should seal the deal for us. It's going to be a penalty. I'm absolutely certain of it. It is a penalty. Handball. Absolutely. Rajendra says, Chan says handball 100%. Rajendra says 100%. Mark C says he's looking at the handball. Yeah, he doesn't. He's giving it now. It was a handball. I mean, this is when VAR is good, you see. It spots things like that. And, I mean, it's quite unfortunate defender, actually, because he went to kick it. He's missed it with his foot. And it's bounced and hit his arm. The Shaktah manager doesn't seem to agree with that decision. And you don't want to upset him, dear, because he doesn't look like he's going to take it too well. It is a penalty, and it looks like Leandro Trossard. Chan says, let Kai score. No, let Trossard score. Because I like Trossard. And he's got quite funky hair as well, hasn't he? Anyway, Leandro Trossard to make it 2-0 from the spot, which would seal the deal for Arsenal tonight. You do feel with, what, 14 minutes left, it's going to be Trossard from the penalty spot. Has he scored a penalty for Arsenal yet, Leandro Trossard? I'm not sure if he has. Anyway, he's going to have a big opportunity to do so now to seal this win for Arsenal. Trossard steps up. Oh, it's saved by the goalkeeper. Good save, actually, with his legs. He has done well, this goalkeeper, actually, for Shaktah. You have to say, he's had a good game. Mark C says, let Sterling score. Well, no, let's not. He just went down the middle, actually. It wasn't a great penalty, was it? He went down the middle. It was low. If you're going to go down the middle, you've got to chip it at least because you know the goalie's going to dive. Oh, are we going to take it again? Oh, we might get to take it again. Not quite sure what's happening. What's happened here? Are we taking it again? But the goalie was all right. He didn't leave his line, did he? Oh, anyway, they haven't retaken a penalty. Everything was fine. Chad said, no, it's not a retake. I didn't know what was happening there. It looked as though it was going to be a retake, but there isn't a retake. We've missed a penalty, and it remains 1-0. So we've got a little bit more of a tense last 14, 30, 40 minutes to come, haven't we? There you go. Roland says, Richard, have you any of that Aries gear released by Arsenal? I wanted that blue jacket, but they're all sold out. To be honest with you, I'm sick and tired of Arsenal becoming a fashion brand. Sick and tired of it. And I don't even like much of it anyway, to be honest with you. I'm not overly keen on it. And I'm just sick of them releasing different ranges of fashion wear every 5 minutes. Just sick of it. Just a little tracksuit like this is all you need, isn't it? I like little warm-up jackets that the players wear generally when they come out. Not the 100, just the nice plain ones. I've got this one. I've got a green one that we had a couple of seasons ago. And I've got like a grey one as well, which the women's team wore or wear. But yeah. Mark says, is that Stefanov's in goal? He looks a bit like Stefanovs, doesn't he? He's played well now, hasn't he? He's played well, the Shakhtar goalkeeper. And he really has played well, I think. He's made some good saves. He's like the same with his legs as well. No, he has about 3 saves he's made of his legs now. And he's done really well. And if Shakhtar were to get an equaliser here, which they might do inside the box, oh, the shot's blocked. Another shot's blocked. And suddenly, from what should have been 2-0, suddenly looking at what could well be 1-1. Shakhtar, that was there. They had 2 shots there blocked on the edge of the Arsenal penalty area. Oh, nice football. That scoop forward there. But Arsenal managed to deal with that. And, wow, this game is still all to play for, isn't it? Should have been over. Should have been finished and done. But Trossard didn't put in the greatest penalty, did he, that he's ever taken? And in the end, the goalkeeper made a decent save. But he was allowed to make the save because it wasn't the best penalty, was it? It was straight down the middle with no height on it. If you're going to go down the middle, you've got to chip it, haven't you? You've got to do that Thierry Henry one that he used to do a couple of times. This is nice play from Shakhtar inside the Arsenal penalty area. Ball comes in, shot comes in, but it's going to be a free kick. Miles Lewis-Skelly was fouled. And the referee didn't like that, did he? He's made it quite clear. Cut that out, boy. Cut that out. I mean, it wasn't a particularly bad foul, was it? He was just trying to get around Lewis-Skelly to get the ball. It was a foul. And the Shakhtar fans will still feel they could get something from this game. But there's going to be a yellow card coming out now, which I'm assuming, it's for the Shakhtar coach, who's got a man bun. Now, that is terrible hair, isn't it? That is absolutely terrible hair. We thought Sterling's hair was bad. That's ridiculous. The guy's about 50 and he's got a man bun. Come on, mate. What are you doing? Seriously. But then he does look a bit mean, so maybe it's best not to tell him, probably. Mark C says, we go so defensive, even when we're 1-0 up, it drives him mad. Yeah, it's a manager that's frightened. It's a scared manager. Hasn't got enough belief in his team to be able to go and attack and kill a game. Well, that's why with 10 men, we're crap. We're crap with 10 men because he's not got the courage to play football with 10 men. He just thinks we can just defend and hold on. And you can't always defend and hold on, as we've seen. Martinelli's done well. He's probably been our best player tonight, Martinelli, actually. And he tries to play the ball through to Sterling. It looks like he's running with the handbrake on. And Shakhtar cleared that away quite comfortably. Chad says, Champions League ref decisions are more consistent than the Premier. Well, yeah, pretty much anybody's decisions are more consistent than the Premier. Anyway, Shakhtar coming forward. They do fancy their chances. Shot from distance. It's gone over the top. And they give it a go in the second half, Shakhtar. You have to say, we haven't killed the game off and that's our own fault. But Shakhtar have given it a good go. They've created a few chances for themselves. That was a shot there over the crossbar. And they're still in it thanks to that penalty miss. I mean, it was a bit unlucky to concede the penalty in the first place, actually. But Trossard's got to do better than that. It wasn't a great penalty kick, was it? Gabriel's with us. How are you? We're very good, my friend. How are you? I think it will end 1-0 the way it's going. Might be wrong. Well, I've got a feeling it might well end 1-0. Or Shakhtar might get a goal. I think the goalkeeper's probably going to get player of the match, isn't he? The Ukraine goalkeeper. But I do feel Martinelli's been our best player, personally. He's been exciting, hasn't he? He wants to run at people. He did obviously create the goal. So, yeah, he's probably been our best player. But, yeah, I think the goalkeeper's going to get it. I think he will, because he's been quite magnificent, hasn't he? If it wasn't for him, it probably would be 2 or 3-0. Anyway, Arsenal try to come forward again with Martinelli. Surely that's a foul. No, the referee says no. It wasn't a foul. It looked like it was a foul, didn't it? Anyway, the referee didn't give it, and now Shakhtar can try to come forward. They are still deep inside their own half. Was that Kevin there? Was that Kevin that did that little bit of skill? I hope it was, because it looked good, and I like Kevin. I want Kevin to do well, actually. Not necessarily in this game, but in general. Oh, that's a nice little dummy there. That was really good stuff. And actually, Shakhtar have played some nice, neat and tidy football. That's a good ball as well. In behind. Is this going to be a chance for 1-1? Raya pushes it out at the near post. There wasn't really a Shakhtar player attacking that anyway. But that was good play, wasn't it? And in fact, there's another free kick. And David Raya has been called into action for the first time pretty much in the whole game. That's nice play though over on that far side from Shakhtar. He needed to pull that ball back. Instead, it was a drilled cross. There was no one in the box, really. And in the end, Raya just pushed it out. Could have gone anywhere, actually. Anyway, number 7's now gone off. Eguilado and Traore is coming on. Another Traore. There's a lot of Traores play football, don't they? Here we've got Noah. We were saying to him, my friend. He says, hello, how are you? Good to see you. Mark says, honestly, Sterling is a busted flush. He is. He's just terrible. He was terrible at the weekend. He's been terrible since he came on. Why would you not bring Ethan Nwaneri on? There's another yellow card here for an Arsenal player. It's Martinelli, actually. Again, it's leading with his arm. Oh, crunch. That's a nasty one. Well, it's not nasty. It's a sore one. He's got himself a yellow card, Martinelli, there. But he has had a good game, so we'll let him off. But, yeah, Sterling is terrible. Absolutely terrible. And we were talking about the most boring signing in Marino. You'd have to say that Raheem Sterling's probably been a worse signing. He's been one of the worst signings I think we've ever made. And we've made some shockers, and he's got to be up there. The only good thing is we've never paid any money for him, so it kind of almost excuses it. But it doesn't, because even for free, it's too much. Even if we're not paying any of his wages, I don't think, it's still too much. He's just awful. He's an awful, awful player. And here he is, miles past his best. Chan says, I have no idea why Arteta brings Sterling. No, I have no idea why Arteta does most things he does, if I'm totally honest. But that is completely baffling. Absolutely. If Pep lets a player leave Man City, there's no way that player is still going to be any good. There's no way Pep lets a good player leave Man City if he then stays in the Premier League, if he thinks that they can still do a job in the Premier League. There's no way to get rid of them, which is why 3 of our worst players are the players that played for Man City that Pep let go. Because that's, no decent manager is going to let one of your players leave to go to another Premier League team, are they? You let your players go to rivals who you know aren't going to strengthen them. In fact, weaken them. That's what's happened. The 3 Man City players have weakened us. There's no doubt. Obviously, we got Sterling from Chelsea, but he Pep let him go for a reason 2 years ago, didn't he? Anyway, that was a poor ball forward from Gabriel. The goalkeeper's come out of his box again, but he can dribble the ball back in, pick it up. Now, it's the last 5 minutes here at the Emirates, and Arsenal are really struggling over the line in this game. But we should get over the line. But it's been far from convincing. And following the performance and the terrible defeat against Bournemouth on Saturday, we're not going into the Liverpool game with a lot of confidence, are we? With the players we've got missing as well. Are we going to be able to turn in a performance on Sunday to beat Liverpool? I'm not too convinced at this moment in time, but who knows? It's another day. It's another game. Oh, and again, Shakhtar playing out from the back, almost get caught out, but it was only Raheem Sterling, and he's so slow. He runs with his arse sticking out as well, like a duck. Anyway, Shakhtar coming forward. They've got some space over on that far side. Oh, Shakhtar going to get a late equaliser here. Oh, that's a funny little chip into the box, and Martinelli's there to hoof it clear. They've made some strange decisions when they've come forward at Shakhtar tonight, actually. They've got themselves into some good positions, and then they've not played the right ball. I think they're bringing another Brazilian on. Is he Brazilian, this guy? He looks as though he might be. And he's going to come off a last 4 minutes. He definitely looks Brazilian. Then look at him, look. He's as Brazilian as they come, this dude. And his name's Gomez, maybe not then. Anyway, Bondarenko's going off, and if anyone look Ukraine, it's him. And Gomez is coming on. He could be Spanish or Portuguese, looking at him, actually. Anyway, Jorginho's coming on. We're 1-0 up. Jorginho's coming on. Trossard had a decent game tonight. Could have scored, obviously. The penalty, had another couple of opportunities. But you got to love a bit of Leandro Trossard. So he's going off, and Jorginho's coming on. Just, an exciting substitution from an exciting manager, an exciting part of the game. Don't take any risks. Let's just hold on for a 1-0 win against Shaktah Donesk at home, shall we? Grot says, yeah, now I have a bad feeling about this. I thought he had missed a penalty and was right. Now I hope of being wrong for thinking 1-1. I must admit, when he missed the penalty, I was thinking 1-1. Jan said, Real Madrid in a beautiful game. Are they winning now, are they, Real Madrid? I'm not surprised, actually. Anyway, there's no more subs available for anybody. But there are only 3 minutes to play, so it doesn't matter too much, does it? Everybody's used all their quota of substitutions now. And with that final substitution there for Shaktah as well. And their fans are making lots of noise at the clock end. I'm sure they've enjoyed their trip to London. Obviously, it's free. We paid for it all. Of course we did. Everything that they've got, we paid for with billions of our tax money. So, they should enjoy themselves, shouldn't they? You're welcome. We've also got a corner in the closing stages here over on the far side. Declan Rice is going to go across to take it. We may well get a second goal now. Gabriel says, really missing Erdogan and Saka. Well, we're only missing them because we haven't got a plan B for not having them in the team. So that's the reason. We're not missing them necessarily. You shouldn't miss any 1 or 2 players. You should have a plan to replace these players. When we don't, do we? Gabriel says, Dortmund bottled it. Well, it looks like they have. They were 2-0 up. Man of the match, Martinelli says with Jandra. Yeah, he should be our man of the match, definitely. I thought the goalkeeper for Shakhtar's probably up there as well, isn't he? Anyway, the corner comes in. He's cleared away. Lewis Skelly on the ball now, does well. Turns away. Can he get a cross in? No, he can't. He plays it back instead to William Saliba. It's up his near side to Jorginho. And it's Lewis Skelly again. Brings the ball forward, finds Gabriel Martinelli. Whips across the walls. Because was it Declan Rice at the far post? It was. And Declan got a touch on it. Couldn't direct it into the corner. And it's a good cross, actually, for Martinelli there. And Declan Rice got in between the 2 defenders, just poked a foot out at it and managed to fire it towards the goal. A comfortable save again by the goalkeeper. And it may well be his own goal that's going to be the deciding factor in this game. And he's been very unfortunate with that. He did save a penalty, so I suppose he's made up for it maybe. And he was very unlucky. Grot says, the strangest position taken for a corner I've ever seen, a cluster of players on the far. But we've been doing it all the time. We've been doing that for the last 3-4 months. And it's worked a lot, hasn't it? Because we've got a lot of goals. But you do feel as though teams are starting to suss it out. Oh, my God, there's 6 minutes of stoppage time. 6 minutes of stoppage time. That is just mental, isn't it? 6 minutes, eh? Incredible. So we've got 6 minutes more to suffer. Yeah, we've got a throw on that far side, headed out at the near post. Headed out again by Shaktah. Grot says 6 minutes for a potential second or 6 minutes for an equaliser. That's the other way to look at it, isn't it? Gabriel says, don't worry, it's at least 8 because the ref never knows to blow the whistle. Yeah, you're probably right, actually. You are probably right. But let's see. Anyway, Shaktah coming forward now. On this near side, the ball played up the line. And I think this is Kevin, actually. My mate Kevin's doing well. Plays the ball in field. Gabriel says more like 6 minutes to park the bus. Yeah, it probably will be. That's probably what's going to happen. 6 minutes to park that bus. over on that far side of the ball, play square. And Shaktah looking some nice, neat and tidy football. It always breaks down when it gets to the edge of the box. That's a shot from distance. Oh, that's a good save from David Raya. Was that Kevin with that shot? Oh, no, it wasn't. It was the other substitute, Pedrinho. It's a good effort, actually. It was going in. Was it going in? Oh, it was going in. That's a good save, actually, with his arm. He came across there, Raya. He hasn't had much to do. Oh, and Shaktah were close to an equaliser, which you have to say the second half, they've given it a good go, haven't they, Shaktah? They've got a corner, though. It's Pedrinho with the corner, and Arsenal defend it only as far as the edge of the box. So that's Kevin with a shot. That wasn't very good, was it? I don't think Kevin's up to much, actually. It's disappointing to say it, isn't it? It's disappointing to say, but I don't think Kevin's that good. Anyway, Shaktah coming forward now on that far side, dinked into the box, headed out quite comfortably by Gabriel, but Arsenal looking a little bit tired. We've invited pressure by sitting so deep, but, which is what we tend to do when we're only 1 goal up, or we're drawing with 10 men, whatever it is. We just get deeper and deeper. We invite pressure, and that's what we're doing here. We've played nearly 3 minutes of the 6 of stoppage time, so there is still time for Shaktah to get a goal. But we shall see. And Shaktah, with their fans behind that goal, would certainly enjoy an equaliser here. Well, they've done well over on that far side. What's the cross like? He decides not to cross it, actually. Crosses it now. It's a strange cross towards the edge of the box. It's headed out, but only falls to a Shaktah player. They're certainly piling on the pressure in these closing stages, aren't they, Shaktah? You just get a little feeling that a goal's coming for them. What's that cross like? That's not a bad cross. Again, Gabriel's there. Finds Martinelli on this near side. He's trying to win something here. The clearance isn't great. And Shaktah pick it up again. They're certainly knocking on the door, aren't they? I think they'll be pleased about how they played tonight, actually, Shaktah. They've caused us a few problems. And they're coming forward again on this near side. Can the cross come in? The cross does come in. The header comes in into the far post. And David Raya has done well, actually. He's done really, really well there. One of the big Brazilians there looking to try and get on the end of it. They've played some nice stuff here, Shaktah. The first header wasn't going in, and then David Raya has done really well there under pressure. The first header came off his shoulder, actually, and then it hung in the air. And David Raya has done really, really well, actually. Really well. And he did make a good save just before that as well. And Arsenal are hanging on. Arsenal are hanging on. And the Shaktah fans there almost had something to celebrate. But anyway, it's a free kick to Arsenal. We've played 4.5 minutes of the 6. There might be a little bit more time to play. It's certainly been a far from convincing Arsenal performance again. Like many this season, we're struggling to create much. We're struggling to kill teams off. And we've maybe been a bit fortunate in this game when you look at the nature of the goal. Although we did miss a penalty, which would have sealed it. But anyway, we're into the final minute now. If Shaktah are going to get an equaliser, they're going to have to do it pretty shortly. Otherwise, they are going back to Ukraine empty-handed. Boy, they're just giving the ball away. That might be their chance gone. Sterling threads the ball through to Havertz. He's not in any hurry to do much. We just need he's just going to go to the corner flag is what he's going to try and do. Oh, and then he's fouled, is he? He is fouled. It's going to be a yellow card. Bit of frustration there. Was that Kevin, actually? Was that my mate Kevin? Has committed that foul. Well, he didn't really touch him, actually, did he? But it was no need to go sliding in like that, was there? It wasn't Kevin. Anyway, it's going to be a free kick to Arsenal, and you do feel as though that's going to be that. Gabriel says, I got a bet for Arsenal to win. It was Pedro Henrique who just got booked. I don't know what's happened to Kevin, actually. We haven't seen much of him, have we? I think I overhyped him a little bit too much. He hasn't quite lived up to it, has he? Poor fella. Anyway, it's a free kick to Arsenal. We're not in any rush to take it. The referees made us take it because, you know, we can't waste time, can we? In fact, there goes a full-time whistle. It is over. Hardly a convincing Arsenal performance at all. We've managed to get it over the line, but Christ, it was a hard watch. Once again, we are not playing particularly well at all at the moment. The only goal of this game was an own goal, which came off the post and hit the goalkeeper. It was a good effort for Martinelli, but yeah, we got a little bit fortunate there. We then missed a penalty in the second half when Trossard it was a poor penalty. Actually, the goalkeeper saved it with his legs, and he'll feel quite unfortunate. But he had a good game, didn't he? The Shakhtar goalkeeper tonight, and yeah, they'll maybe feel a little bit unfortunate they weren't able to get something from the game. They had some late chances, didn't they? But we got the job done. And that's all that matters ultimately. I say this every week, a 1-0 win is fine. You know, you're not going to play well every week. Sometimes you've got to dig in and get a result. Yes, we should have won more comfortably. We were a much better team in the first half. We were very, very poor in the second half. We still had the penalty opportunity to make it 2-0, wasn't able to. And in the end, we hung on and managed to scrape those 3 points. Rather fortunate. Gabriel says, damn, 5-2 with Jeddah. Well, they're going to be the team to beat, aren't they? Mark C says, thank God for that. Exactly. Thank God for that. Daniel says, Martin, yeah, I think he is. Yeah, you said that before. I think you're right. Although I think the Shakhtar goalkeeper was probably the man of the match overall. I thought he was brilliant. But yeah, unconvincing. And I think that tends to be the story of our season so far. We've been unconvincing, haven't we? Anyway, Sporting Lisbon won 2-0 in Sturm Graz. Real Madrid won 5-2 in the end, 2-0 down at half time. Villa won 2-0 against Bologna. Girona won 2-0 against Slovan Bratislava. We won 1-0. Monaco won 5-1 against Red Star. And Milan beat Club Bruges by 3-1. And it's Juventus 0, Stuttgart 1, and PSG 1, PSV 1. I suppose it has to be a draw. Their names are so similar. Yeah, we got the job done. And that's pretty much all we can say. It was a very, very poor game. We're currently up to 4th in the table. Obviously, some teams have only played 2. We've played 3. So the likely is we could drop down a little bit following the rest of the games. But yeah, 36 teams in this league, honestly. Shakhtar are 29th with 1 point, and we struggled to beat them, and we're 4th. Have we ever played a team in 29th place before? Probably not, because most leagues have only got 20 teams. But this has got 34. Grot says, yeah, easy peasy. Never was I worried. No, none of us were worried, mate. Absolutely not. It was an easy win, yeah. Mark C says, keep my fingers crossed for Calafiori orange. Yes, exactly. I think we need to as well, because if he's out of the weekend, as we said it before, it could be a very, very difficult. Well, it's going to be a difficult game on Sunday anyway. And I say if we lose that, we're 7 points off Liverpool, and that'll be a big gap, wouldn't it? Gabriel said, showed mentality to hold on even on a bad day. Well, no, but you see, we shouldn't be holding on at home to Shakhtar Donesk, should we? We shouldn't be hanging on. We should have won that game more comfortably. Even playing as badly as we did, we should have been 2 or 3-0 up, game done. And in the end, we are hanging on. We're bringing on Jorginho for the last 5 minutes because we don't want to concede a goal. You know, and if it wasn't for David Raya, we draw that game. How many times have we said that this season as well? So come on, I mean, it's not good enough. It's nowhere near good enough. And, you know, people will say, well, look at the injuries we've got. Yes, we've got 1 or 2 players injured. Saka and Ødegaard, right? And they are 2 of our more effective players. There's no doubt about that. But the problem is we've not got anybody that can come in and replace them, because the manager hasn't thought about getting someone in to replace him, because he doesn't want to replace him, because he wants them to play every week. And he's hoping that they're just going to be out for the odd game here and there. But that's not football. And this is what we're seeing now, aren't we? Mark C says we should be more on the front foot. I mean, exactly, because we should be hanging on, should we, against Shakhtar Donesk? Hang on against Man City or hang on against Liverpool. Don't hang on against Shakhtar Donesk. You know what I mean? I don't know. Gabriel says you can give the benefit of the doubt. Consider no, that's not. That's just an excuse, right? Every team has injuries, right? Every single team has injuries. You can't use that as an excuse. You cannot. You've got to be able to cope with it. We've got, look how much money we've spent on our squad. We've got to be able to cope with losing. It's 2 players. It's 2 players out of a squad of 25 that we've got injured. That's it. 2 players. Okay, Saliba's out the weekend as well with a suspension. So that's 3 players. If we can't cope without 3 players, we're in big trouble, aren't we? Because you can't hope to keep all your players fit all the time. But Mikel Arteta only trusts 15 players, and if 3 of them are injured, that only leaves 12 that he trusts. That's not enough to beat Liverpool, is it? That's the problem. The problem isn't the players who got injured. The problem is not having a good enough squad to cope. and not having players on the bench that the manager trusts to play. And he doesn't want them, does he? Look at the bench tonight, full of kids that he's never going to play. Come on. Regenda says, I agree with Rich. Marino not yet bedded in, and maybe it's boring as he's shown no creativity. Exactly, yeah, he's not a creative player anyway, I don't think. Greg says, the last 15 minutes, it was lucky they couldn't score. Yeah, it was, yeah. Gabriel says, they got injured. It doesn't matter when they got injured. Players get injured. It's football, mate. It's football. It happens all the time. Grot says, you don't have to put in more effort than needed. Now they will be well rested until Saturday. Well, I think we did need to put a little bit more effort tonight because we just about struggled over the line. It isn't our fault. No, it's not our fault to play. It's never anybody's fault. A player gets injured, they get injured in training, they get injured playing for international football, they get injured playing in the Premier League, whatever it is. Players get injured. That is what happens. It's more about what squad you've got to be able to cope with that. That's the issue. And that is our fault. We've built the squad. The manager doesn't trust our after. We won't play them. It's not a deep enough squad. Look at all the kids we've got on the bench. You don't win anything with a bench like that. I'm sorry. And that's been our bench every week. And we've only got 2 players injured. It's not like we've got 8 players injured and we're struggling to get people on the bench. Greg says, we've got a squad of players. Arteta has got to use him and trust him, but he won't. He doesn't. He didn't trust them. If you don't trust them tonight, when's he going to trust us? When's he going to trust them? Gabriel says, Raya saves us. Raya often saves us. He does. He often saves us, doesn't he? Let's be honest. Christ. Another long night. It's been another long night, and that game seemed to go on forever. That second half, we just was terrible, really. We couldn't keep the ball. We invited pressure on. We got deeper and deeper. The substitutions were negative. We don't have a lot of options on the bench, attacking-wise, if we're honest, anyway. And our only real attacking option was Sterling. And Christ, if Nwaneri isn't a better option than Sterling, then Nwaneri might as well give up, hang his boots up, and go and do something else on a Saturday. Honestly, Regina says you don't win any game only 1-0 to the Arsenal. Well, yeah, I know. Chan says slightly win, but poor performance. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was a poor performance. And I think sometimes you do have to look at that, don't you? I mean, if we win the game, we win the game. No one's really that bothered ultimately. But you've got to look at the fact that we've had a series of performances now that are just not good enough. They're not good enough. And if we want to be winning big trophies this season, we need to start playing better. I just don't think we've got the squad. I don't think we've got the squad depth. And with the players that we have got in the squad, I was working at lunchtime today, right? When I was eating my lunch and I was looking through the squad thinking, there's only 15 players that Mikel Arteta actually rates enough to play when it matters. 15 players. It's not enough. You don't win anything with 15 players in 2024. You absolutely don't. And when you think of those 15 players, some of them aren't really good enough. Sterling, he's one of those 15 because he won't get picked. Jorginho, he's another one of those 15. You know what I mean? And these are players that aren't good enough, and yet they're players that he trusts. Anyway, Gabriel says, hopefully we can rest up. A win is a win, but let's prepare for Liverpool. We need to be much better against Liverpool. Regenda says, Sterling is poor, needs to put his socks on. We don't need, but he's got no socks to pull up, mate. He's got no socks to pull up. He's done. He was done at Chelsea. He's even more done now. He's retired, basically. Chan says, I hate to see Partey right back. Yeah. Greg says, we won't win anything this season, nor all the time Arteta is in charge. I'd agree with you. I don't think we will. He's got to prove us wrong, but I don't think he's going to. Grot says, during a period when every AFC player was injured every week, and me and my mate used to joke that the Arsenal players was made out of glass. Seems like we are back to those real tracks. Yeah, no, I remember those days. Yes, the Jack Wilshere days and stuff. We seem to get players. Rosicki was injured all the time, and yeah, you're right. That seemed to be the way we were, and we seem to be getting back there now. But having said that, we haven't got many injuries, have we? Really, we don't have many injuries. That's the point. We've got a couple of players out injured, and that's it. But yeah, we've got to do better. There's no doubt about that. We've got to do better because, it's just not good enough, is it? It's just not good enough at all. But anyway, Sunday will be a different game. Let's see who's going to play in defence. That's the big question, isn't it? Gabriel says, I think injuries happen because of match conditions, congestion. No, it does, but then that's why you rest your players. That's why you rest them in games like this. You bring some young players in, so your main players are rested, so they're less likely to get injured. Gabriel says, too many games on travel. No, it's too many games on travel. We was at home tonight, but the point is, it's squad. We've got a squad. The manager won't use it because I say he trusts 15. He trusts 15 players or 15 players only, and that's it. So yeah, That's down to the manager to sort the squad out, manage the squad better. And yeah, that is what we have got to do. So there you go. We won the game 1-0. It was an own goal. We missed a penalty, and Shaktah could have got an equaliser at the end. Good save from David Raya. And that, unfortunately, is that. But anyway, that is that really. So there we go. Greg says, gone are the days where the players play for the badge. Yeah, they just play for the money. That's it. It's not even play for the badge. I want them to play for the trophies. I want them to play to win stuff. And they don't seem to. They just want to play to get picked in the team. That's all they want to play for. And that's why we're not going to win anything. Which says just Martinelli wins. Yeah, we know Martinelli won man of the match. He was our best player. I thought the goalkeeper perhaps was the best player on the pitch. But anyway, Martinelli had a great game. He was our best player, and he deserved that little award he just got there. Anyway, good stuff. Thank you for joining us tonight. Gabriel says classic 1-0 win with 10 heart attacks. Exactly. Yeah, we're used to it now, aren't we? We've done it for years. So we may be back on Friday for the Lionesses. I haven't decided if we're going to do a watch along yet. I will put a thing up if we're doing it. So keep a note out for that. We may well do it. We'll have to see. Grot says, I have to hit the hay. It's 23:05 here. I have to be at work at 7. That is only possible taking the bus at 5:55. Well, thanks for today's company. Sleep well. You sleep well as well, my friend. Chaz said 1-0, but almost 2-0 and 1-1. Exactly, yeah. Gabriel says, nice stream anyway. Thank you, my friend. Good to see you all. Thank you all for watching. Thank you very much. Don't forget to give us a like and subscribe if you are new. Yeah, we might be back Friday for the Lionesses game. I haven't decided yet whether to do that game. We may be busy and not able to. So we'll see. Of course, it'll be a Sunday. Absolutely, we're on for the Liverpool game. 4:15 will be a 4:30 kickoff. So looking forward to that. That's going to be a massive game, isn't it? So join us for that. Chan says it's 4 a.m. here. Wow, 4 a.m. is it? Well, thanks for staying up and joining us. Mark C says later, chaps. Much to think about before Sunday. There is indeed. Gabriel says, see you all Sunday. Greg says, thanks again, Rich. All the best until next time. Indeed, we'll see you very soon. If it's not Friday, it'll definitely be Sunday. We will see what we're doing. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Arsenal did win 1-0. So I suppose we need to finish on this. Not the most convincing of 1-0 to the Arsenals, is it? But we'll take it. We will take it, and we will move on, of course, to the next one on Sunday. Massive, massive game. Let's get the win. Let's get the W on the board against Liverpool. Put ourselves right back in it. If we lose on Sunday, wow, it's a mountain to climb, isn't it? But in the Champions League, we're going well. 3 games, 2 wins and a draw. Not too bad, as you haven't conceded a goal yet in the competition. Let's see how we go. A couple more games to play away from home yet. So we'll see. But yeah, we won 1-0 tonight. It was an own goal, but it doesn't matter. The goal's a goal. If it goes in the net, we'll take it, won't we? So thanks for joining us, guys. I'll see you very, very soon. Enjoy the rest of your week. And come on, you Gunners. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, share, subscribe. See you soon.